Carolina. Again, we discuss it all the time.
Powered by Integrated Media.
The Game TV, sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV, sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
Looking for a dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, where we've been proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle or just need expert service, you'll find it all right here. Shop online anytime at HerndonChevy.com or stop by and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
Columbia, make this spring the time you stop painting year after year and do what Greg did. He called Rhino Shield.
We live in a beautiful two-story home that was built in 1916. Really been prepped and painted very, very poorly.
And Rhino Shield? It's not paint, it's better.
We really had a lot of detail work in the team at Rhino Shield. They spent really a full 4 days just on the prep work, and we were so excited to see that.
Stop painting year after year and get Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
We've gotten numerous compliments, and we've actually even had some of the longer-term residents of our community thank us for protecting the integrity of our home.
Here's owner Dan Hoey.
This offer is limited, so call today at 833-RHINO-99 or visit RhinoShieldCarolina.com. Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Craving the ultimate wing experience? Come visit Wing Shack in Casey at 1305 Knox Abbott Drive, where Columbia's finest crispy and juicy wings await you. Enjoy bold flavors with sauces like buffalo and Thai chili. Not just wings, indulge in personal pizzas, pizza cones, fried Oreos, and more. With options for pickup, delivery, or dine-in, satisfaction is guaranteed. Now open on Reese Road in Lancaster, Casey, and coming soon to Garners Ferry Road and Winsboro. Visit wings-shack.com.
Columbia business leaders, ready to grow in 2026? Join us for your business, your customers, your growth. The 2026 Digital Seminar, April 30th at Hilton Garden Inn, 1200 Pickens Street. Choose the session that fits your schedule, 11:30 with lunch or 2:30 with light refreshments. Attend and get $1,500 in advertising credit to boost your brand on our Columbia Cumulus stations. And when you confirm your reservation, you'll also receive a custom audio or video from Podcast Studio 803. Seats are limited. Dial pound 250 keyword digital impact to RSVP today.
Powered by Integrated Media.
The Game TV, sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV, sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 1075 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube. Start, bench, drop. Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse, your local Honda Power Sports store. Get in today and ask about the Honda bonus bucks on the remaining 2025 Pioneer side-by-sides. Exit 70 off I-20 and turn by the Flying J. CarolinaHonda.com.
Postgame show. Talking Carolina baseball. We'll get to what happened last night in Charlotte and just a little bit of 9-1 loss by the Gamecocks and the Tar Heels. But we've been talking about, well, the Paul Maneri article in NOLA.com. Some of the points that Paul Maneri tried to make that has not made this fan base very happy. And so you, sir, I'm just trying to be nice, tried to because I was a little testy about this yesterday, so I'm trying to be all wonderful and nice today.
That's good for you. Good for you.
I'm just trying to be a better man in my old age. All right, so you brought up an interesting point of the expectation of Carolina baseball, what it should be now, and you're going to get to that on Twitter. That you got some responses. Ernest has been holding on for a minute, though. Let's get Ernest in here. Ernest, we appreciate you holding on the AAA Heating and Air phone lines. What's up, my friend? You're on the postgame show on the game.
Okay, Terry, Jay, I've been trying to get a hold of you for a couple of days. One, to answer Jay's question, yes, expectations. At least make a regional every year, a super regional every 2 to 3 years in Omaha, maybe 1 or 2 times in a 10-year tenure. The thing I want to talk about is Monty Lee. You brought him back under Mark Kingston, hired Paul Maneri. Paul Maneri let him stay around, and then now this guy may not be your next head coach. Why are we jerking this guy's chain? You know, he was an assistant under Tanner, left, did a head coaching job at 2 other places, comes back as an assistant, and yet you're still not going to give that man a head job? Why are we jerking his chain?
All right, thanks, Ernest. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Ernest. Look, I think Monty has a really long runway here with the opportunity to keep this job. So I get your premise to your question, Ernest. And I think it's a somewhat fair question, but I wouldn't say that's exactly what they're doing. I think Jeremiah is going to open the doors to as many candidates as possible, and I think you should. But I absolutely believe Monty should be one of those candidates, and I believe that he is, and I do believe that if he can have a level of success that is certainly better than we've seen the last couple of years, with a real opportunity for progress and growth depending on what comes next, revenue-wise, et cetera, I think he has every opportunity to keep the gig. I could be wrong, Terry. It may well be that Jeremiah already has his mind made up about going in a completely new direction. We'll see. I know the guys like Monty. I think everybody likes Monty. I don't think there's anything to not like about Monty. But I think Ernest, again, you ask a decent question there. I think one of the things that's interesting, I think Jack did this, or maybe he did it through Cade Crenshaw's work, but I think Jack put it on Central, that under Mark Kingston, how much better Carolina's hitting got while Monty was hitting coach, and how it dropped even though Monty was still hitting coach, at least technically, under Paul Maneri, but it was more of Paul's approach, and it didn't work as well. So let's see, as we said, Terry, let's see how quickly Monty re-implementing, if you will, his way of doing things, and we had him on Monday, and you replayed one of those answers about his offensive philosophy yesterday, in terms of taking pitches, being patient, waiting for the right opportunity instead of just being completely aggressive on a more regular basis. Let's see how long it takes to pay dividends. It paid dividends on Sunday against Arkansas, but last night Carolina got some guys on base, but could not get that big hit, could not get that runner across. They scored early, and that was it. And then Chapel Hill had the one big inning in the 7th and kind of blew the game open. So, Ernest, again, we'll see, man. But I think with the decision being made when it was, you still got 24 conference games left to play. So I think the opportunity for Monty to show that he deserves the job full time is very much in play. I really do.
I think a couple schools of thought. I mean, one, everything you see and read and hear is that this is going to be a big search. Jeremiah Donati is going to leave no stone unturned. It's going to be a national-type search, because it should be. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean.
Yeah.
South Carolina deserves the best man for the job to get this thing back to where it used to be. I think you should have a national search. But also, I'm sure Jeremiah Donati, when he sat down with Monty Lee and said, look, you're the interim guy. I'm not going to lie to you, Monty. I'm going to do a national search for this opening. But you're the guy in the chair right now. And if you get this thing cooking, we absolutely are going to have a conversation about you as one of the leading candidates. I think, look, again, if Monty can get these guys playing good baseball, things turn around, they start winning games, and you see a total change in the culture and the clubhouse and everything, and all of a sudden, they're posting W's, Monty absolutely is going to be in the mix to get this job. But I just don't think you give it to Monty Lee right now. I think you let him audition because he's going to get the chance. Nobody else is going to get, Jay. He's going to get the chance to audition for the gig. And so a lot of this is what happens in Monty's audition. But no, Jeremiah Donati should absolutely do a national search because this baseball program and this fan base deserves the best coach for this job. And that's just flat. Not
absolutely.
And I'll say this real quick. And my point, and look, I know everybody wants someone who has been here, coached here, played here, and I understand it. But sometimes that's not the best person for the job. Ray Tanner was at NC State. Dawn Staley did not play basketball at South Carolina. Steve Spurrier was not from the state of South Carolina or graduated from the university. You need the best person for this job. The best person to get South Carolina baseball where it deserves to be, and that's back in the conversation, one of the best in the country.
Absolutely, and it's interesting because I can tie in another story here. We'll talk about this a little later on too, probably not as much as the Carolina baseball story, but North Carolina, I say maybe to the surprise of few, but maybe to some, did indeed fire Hubert Davis last night, and they've kind of kept everything in house, basketball coaching wise, since Dean Smith. And now the word up there is, in order to really get this done, you have no choice but to go out of the family for the first time in a couple of generations. And you're right, Terry. As much as you might like to have someone come in here who has direct ties to the program, are they the best? And I think another thing, too, that Jeremiah will be doing is not just making that search, but let's see what kind of applications he gets. Who wants this job? I think a lot of people are going to look at this job and say that's a great gig, and it can be done. And in today's world especially, it can be turned around pretty quickly. If you put the right things in place. So South Carolina baseball is still a fantastic job. It's not what it used to be, but it doesn't mean it can't be something close to that again. I don't know that you'll ever really see what you saw back then, because I think the world has changed. Like we said, Terry, 15 years ago, the last time Carolina was at the peak of its powers, you had a lot of schools that, they had a baseball team, but did they really care about baseball? And the answer is no. Like I told you the other day, you're now not only looking back up at the LSUs and Arkansas and Vanderbilts in the conference, and now Texas has joined, but you're looking up at Bama, at Auburn, at Georgia, and Kentucky, schools at Tennessee, schools that are football schools, 4 of them, Kentucky, a basketball school, that didn't ever really care. They were like, Again, Tennessee, remember, we used to joke a few years ago, you'd have thought Tennessee invented college baseball the way their fan base acted when Vitello got it going. And you had to remind those people, y'all didn't even know you had a baseball team 5 years ago.
Right. That's where people went to study the baseball game.
Yeah. Kind of like Nebraska basketball fans, by the way, these days. Did you even know you had a basketball team? But I digress. So anyway, all right. I know we got to hit a break. I'll come back on the other side. I got tons of great responses to what Carolina baseball fans believe the annual expectations and longer term expectations should be, and I want to give those people their due. So we'll do that on the other side.
All right, fantastic. Post-game show, Jay and Terry, and your thoughts on Carolina baseball's expectations next on the post-game show on the Game Network, and at the Game TV Radio, our cool little YouTube channel.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
The Game phone lines at 803-404-6100. Sponsored by AAA Heating and Air. Now offering 12-month payment plans on all HVAC or electrical repairs with no credit check. Online at callAAAtoday.com.
Hi there, this is Steve Ard with Local Waste Service. The Ards have been in the waste business for over 60 years, and I want to introduce my new waste company, Local Waste Service. We are a locally owned company that provides front-end, roll-off service for all your waste needs. We also do recycling and compactors, so look us up at localwastesc.com. That's localwastesc.com.
Where your trash is our business. Bill Gunner here for Corley Pool Solutions. Pool season is upon us. That's right. It's time to make sure your pool is maintained and ready to use. And you know who is the absolute best in the Midlands? Tracy Corley and Corley Pool Solutions. With their flat rate pricing, including all of the chemicals, you know exactly what you are paying for. So if you're tired of maintaining your pool by yourself, call the pros. Call Corley Pool Solutions. 803-445-8109. Line up your maintenance today.
Tartan Day, you might just learn a thing or two. We can't wait to see all of you at Tartan Day.
Break out your kilts. It's time for Tartan Day South, built by Culpeper Wood. This year's festival celebrates the Celtic influence on our nation's 250th birthday. The Celtic Concert is Friday, March 27th. All the great bands hit the stage for one musical night at the Ice House Amphitheater, downtown Lexington. And then the main event, Tartan Day South Celtic Festival, is Saturday, March 28th at the historic Columbia Speedway in Casey. Gates open at 9 a.m. to a 9-acre infield of lush green grass filled with activities and entertainment, Highland athletics, Celtic concerts, South Carolina's largest British car show, sheepdogs, birds of prey exhibitions, and food and beverage vendors for the entire family.
Tartan Day, you might just learn a thing or two. We can't wait to see all of you at Tartan Day.
Tickets on sale now at tartandaysouth.com.
There's a new kind of welcome waiting for you at the Haven Harley-Davidson, and right now is the perfect time to ride. For a limited time, get 0 down, 2.5% APR, and up to $2,500 in customer cash on the 2025 Road Glide, Street Glide, and Street Glide Ultra. For riders navigating a bit of transition right now, know there's always a place to land. If you're looking for a place that rides with you, supports you, and knows what your Harley means to you, the Haven Harley-Davidson would be honored to be part of your journey. Discover more at 866-768-5095 or thehavenharley.com.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Van City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet, quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon, Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City, 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
Join the Lexington Health Foundation for the McDaniels Golf Classic, returning Friday, April 24th at beautiful Fort Jackson Golf Club. Enjoy an all-inclusive day of golf with all meals provided, beer carts, hospitality tents, games, prizes, and more. Presented by McDaniels Auto Group. Proceeds benefit the McDaniels Pucci Cancer Fund to support patients and families at Lexington Health Cancer Center from diagnosis to survivorship. Golf teams and sponsorships are available at McDanielsGolfClassic.com.
Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Inside with Chris Van Vliet. Hey, I'm Chris Van Vliet. Behind-the-scenes conversations with the biggest names in pro wrestling and beyond.
How did you know you weren't going to kill Hornswoggle with that move? I didn't. That fall with suicide. I don't know how you survived.
Yeah, luck. And special live coverage of the biggest professional wrestling event of the year.
If you've ever wanted to know where the best place to watch WrestleMania is, right here. I've got a live show there, Insight Live, on the Thursday night.
Pro wrestling at its best.
Insight with Chris Van Vliet. Follow and listen on your favorite platform. See you there.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 1075 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
We're talking Carolina baseball expectations here on the Postgame Show. Terry Ford, Jay Phillips. All right, real quick, man, before we get to your stuff you have there on Twitter.
Yep.
Got a cool email here from Edward. Fun fact, guys, you are correct. The robot was simply called Robot on Lost in Space by the crew of the Jupiter 2. However, it did have a name designated by the producers of the show, according to Wikipedia. Here we go. Thank you, Edward, for doing this. In the original 1965 to 1968 Lost in Space series, the robot is primarily called Robot or referred to by its designation B9, because that was the model. Officially, it was designated as a B9 Class M3 General Utility Non-Theorizing Environmental Control Robot. Character, by the way, was played by a dude named Bob May. Thank you, Edward. Very
All right.
nice.
There you go. There you go. Danger,
Very
Will
nice.
Robinson. Danger.
All right, ready?
Danger.
So next time that I won't be in a bar to fight anybody, but so if I want to win the bet at the bar, I can say officially it was designated as a B9 Class M3.
Well, I think you
General
need
Utility.
to screenshot Edward's email there and put it on your phone.
Right.
And just pull that sucker out.
Because, by the way, ask me this in a half an hour and I totally forget it. So, yes, I'm going to
Yeah.
save this.
Robot.
Edward, thank you.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Thank
Nice.
you, Edward.
Nice.
All right, so let's get to your responses.
All right,
the question is simple. Expectation level.
Yeah,
in
so
2026.
this morning, this morning, our good friend Lauren Beasley threw out on Twitter the following question: do you think the expectations of the South Carolina fan base are too high? This is referring to the baseball conversation. And I said in response to her, this is a good question, and I'll add one to it. What are the expectations of the baseball fan base? Can't just be happy with NCAA bids, but probably shouldn't expect 6 Omaha trips in a 10-year span either, which did happen under Ray Tanner. In the modern era, where is the reasonable middle ground? And again, I've gotten dozens of responses, so I'm going to read a few just in order here that I got them, Terry, and then we'll comment on a few, and we'll get to some more throughout the afternoon. Franklin says, make a regional every year. Host 3 out of 4 years, and host supers or make supers 2 out of 4 years. That level of consistency will get us back to Omaha. Calico says, I think hosting a regional is where this team should be every year, period, which is one of the things I said earlier. I agree with that. BOC says, 2 years of competitive baseball to settle in. So I guess that means for a new coach or whoever takes over. Then he says, regional every year unless catastrophe. Supers every 2. Omaha once every 4. That's every 4-year cycle is 4 chances at Supers, 2 chances at Omaha, 1 chance to win it all. That's a good outlook for 10 years. Let's see. Matt says, I think a yearly NCAA bid and hosting a super at least every other year is reasonable. We had that run of 9 supers in 11 years and won 30 straight games at home, give or take, yeah. I think that's not at all unreasonable to expect from a program with our history. Steven says, same as what Duke fans think of their basketball team and Ohio State fans expect of their football team. In the tourney annually and competing in Omaha every 4 years. Over a 10-year span, we should have a couple of Omaha trips and make the supers 5 times. And I'll give 2 more here real quick, Terry. Again, I got a bunch, but I want to get to. I don't want to cloud us with too many at once. This one says, Gamecock Fams, a program that has played for a natty on 6 different occasions, winning twice. The expectation has to be a regional every year at minimum. And Albert says, my expectation in baseball, given our history, tradition, and support, is to make the NCAA tournament 80% of the time. That accounts for a weird season when issues may pop up. After that, 40% rate for supers is reasonable, and he just adds go Cox. So in a 10-year span, 8 tournaments and 4 supers. You do have weird things that happen from time to time. Again, I got a bunch more. We'll get to some, but again, I don't really read anything in those, Terry, that is unreasonable. 5 trips to Omaha in 10 years might be a bit much. And I think, somebody said maybe 4 in 10. But 5 supers in 10 years, I don't think that's unreasonable. No. It's hard. It's hard, but I don't think it's unreasonable. And again, what Coach Tanner was able to do from 2000 to 2012, I know that for a lot of us, it doesn't feel like that long ago. And in the grand scheme, it wasn't all that long ago. But in terms of the landscape of college athletics, including college baseball, it was a long time ago because so much has changed. And as I said, I think when you go back and look, Terry, at how good Carolina was back then, how good Florida was, how good LSU was, and you began to see the rise then of Arkansas and Vanderbilt. that's when you saw other programs around the Southeastern Conference go, well, damn, maybe we should do something about this. Because Georgia, Georgia won a title. They almost backdoored their way into a title when I was in college. I think 90 or 91. Georgia was in a World Series when Carolina was there, I think 04. And then Carolina went to Foley Field, had that crazy game where they hit like 5 straight home runs at Foley Field, but still didn't win that regional, that super. And I think Georgia went again. So even Georgia at times. But, did they ever really have the passion for it and the desire for it that Gamecock fans had? The answer is no. And maybe they still don't. We know what Georgia's about in the grand scheme, right? But now Georgia has put a lot into baseball, and it's paying dividends. Again, did Tennessee ever care? No. They had one with Todd Helton back in the 90s, and they went one other time since then, but they didn't care, and now they do. Kentucky. I mean, how many people knew Kentucky had a baseball team? And now Nick Mingione is doing a hell of a job up there, So and I'm not. These aren't excuses. What I'm saying is, it's changed because these schools have put the resources into it, not just hiring a coach and going and trying to get a couple of players. They have put money into development, into facilities, into building up their ballparks, and it's making a difference. And Carolina's still doing that, but Carolina's missing something. You need more good players, right? I'm always going to say that, Terry. It's college sports. You're going to always need more good players. And right now, Carolina's talent level is not as desirable as it could be. But I don't think what these fans have said here, you can do that again here. LSU's still doing it, Terry, right? Florida's still doing it. Arkansas is still doing it. North Carolina's still doing it. Virginia's still doing it. You can do it too at South Carolina. You can be that too. Even in a different era where more schools give a crap, your give a crap is still higher than most here in Columbia. And
you still have a top 10, like you said, top 10 operational budget for your baseball program. So you are spending the money to have a top-level baseball program. I think you asked what was off. Look, I just think the right coach is the best thing for everything. I just think right now, obviously, Paul Maneri just didn't work. With Mark Kingston, I mean, the program was okay. It just wasn't what you're used to. And look, I just looked at this while we were in the break. This program hadn't had a losing record until Mark went 27-28 in 2022. Before that was 1996, Jay.
And that 22 team that was decimated by injury.
Yeah, remember that.
That 22 team.
Injuries. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Where were you in 1996?
1996, I was engaged and starting to be a full-time radio employee.
You weren't even married. That's how long ago this was. And you got 17 kids. You've been married 50 years. All right.
That's right.
Before that season is when South Carolina went 13-17 in the league, and we're right, there was a ton of injury. No, I'm talking 2019, 8-22 in league under Coach Kingston. Before that, the last time South Carolina finished below 500 in the SEC was 1997, Ray's first year. That's the point I think we're trying to make here, is how good this program was for so long. And you want to get back to, and you might not be as dominant, because like you said, almost every team in the SEC in some way, shape, or form cares more than they used to about baseball. But you can get back to being one of the best programs in this conference, and in the conversation every year to do some damage in some way, shape, or form. And that's really, to me, step one is getting back toward that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's where
absolutely.
This thing is at.
By the way, Mrs. Phillips and I did just celebrate our 29th anniversary this past Sunday. So
happy anniversry.
Thank you.
Nice work by you.
Tell her, not me.
Your friends
she's the one
probably
in
the poll probably didn't have you. Probably have you annoying her by year 5. Nice work by you.
Thank you. I'll plead the 5th on that one.
All right, let's get the vault. Checking what's going on this day next here on the Postgame Show on the Game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Walk with 107.5 The Game on the American Heart Association Heart Walk, March 28th at Segra Park. Our goal is to raise $2,500 for the American Heart Association. Be a Heart Walk hero and please help. Go to 1075thegame.com to join in with us.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Yesterday, the NBA PA released a statement about the 65-game threshold for postseason awards in the NBA. The NBA PA is making the case in honor of Cade Cunningham, who's in doubt of hitting the 65-game mark due to a collapsed lung this season. The rule that was put into place was to make sure stars would play in games, but this is crazy. Cunningham is worthy of making an All-NBA team. I'm Chris Black.
Furnished by IntelliBrands.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new patented Legsercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way.
Using Legsercise made walking painless again.
Legsercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
I have much less swelling and no more tingling.
Call right now and order your very own Legsercise Pro, the new proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now.
These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
This new year, I want to spend more time with my family, get healthier, and make sure my finances are in order. That includes finally securing life insurance. My friend recommended SelectQuote. They've helped more than 2 million people find coverage in the last 40 years. In 15 minutes, a licensed insurance agent found me a $500,000 policy for only $16 a month. And my husband got a $500,000 policy for only $18 a month. Plus, we qualified for same-day life insurance. No medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With SelectQuote, even if you have a health concern, be it high blood pressure, diabetes, even heart disease, their experienced agents can find you the right life insurance policy at the lowest price. Make life insurance the first resolution you check off your list this year.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-291-9090 to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-291-9090. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-291-9090. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
This new year, I want to spend more time with my family, get healthier, and make sure my finances are in order. That includes finally securing life insurance. My friend recommended SelectQuote. They've helped more than 2 million people find coverage in the last 40 years. In 15 minutes, a licensed insurance agent found me a $500,000 policy for only $16 a month. And my husband got a $500,000 policy for only $18 a month. Plus, we qualified for same-day life insurance. No medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With SelectQuote, even if you have a health concern, be it high blood pressure, diabetes, even heart disease, their experienced agents can find you the right life insurance policy at the lowest price. Make life insurance the first resolution you check off your list this year.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-291-9090 to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-291-9090. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-291-9090. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 1075 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Trying to get the vault rolling. Caught up in the sports world on this day. Jay Phillips, Terry Ford, postgame show. All right, here, Jay Phillips. Interesting day, some historic things happening. I know you'll never forget this. 1934, Horton Smith won the first Masters. Remember that?
I would not have known it what year. I do know that Horton Smith was the first winner of the Masters, yes.
Yeah, I remember watching that, man. That's back when
no, they didn't have
ESPN,
television.
yeah, I remember they had their. Remember it was.
You didn't watch that.
Yeah, Scott Van Pelt was there for the Golf Channel. Remember that? That's when Scott Van Pelt was for the Golf Channel. 1934.
Scott Van Pelt, University of Maryland.
I know. Go Terps. I like turtles. Let's see here. You know, it's just funny because Elijah and I were dorking on this earlier today. 1961, Cincinnati ends Ohio State's 32-game win streak with a 70-65 win in the NCAA championship. That was an interesting, I think, 3 straight years Cincinnati and Ohio State played for the national championship.
Yeah, Big O, right?
And Cincinnati, no, I think...
was it Big O already gone?
I think Big O was already gone. Matter of fact, Cincinnati went to 5 straight Final Fours.
Well, Big O went to some of those,
and
right?
He did. He left and they won championships. When he was there, they didn't win the championship. They went to the Final Four. They won, I think, 61-62. Ohio State, I believe it was in 1960, with some dude named John Havlicek, some dude named Jerry Lucas, and some cat named Bobby Knight coming off the bench.
Yeah.
But those two played 3 straight years, which was kind of, we were totally dorking on this earlier.
Havlicek stole the ball.
Yes. So, because Elijah is getting a 1961 Bearcat National Championship T-shirt.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So that's how we started down this rabbit hole earlier. And so
anyway.
I
like that.
Anyway, that's what we do in our spare time.
And by the way, just for those who don't know, Big O, Oscar Robertson, one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. The human triple-double. The first guy to average a triple-double in a season. Just saying.
You didn't hear me. I think you were away from the mic during one of our breaks. I saw that Joker last night got his triple-double 11 seconds into the second half.
Yeah, Joker's ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
11 seconds. So basically, he nearly had it 11 seconds in. He gets a triple-double.
Yeah, it's a second-round pick. Second-round pick. Because the great story about Joker was when they drafted him, basically Denver said, look, you're a fatty. Lose some weight, get in better shape. And he did. And look at him.
Yeah, it's working.
Absolutely. 1967, you might have heard of this guy, Lou Alcindor.
Yeah.
UCLA, led by sophomore Lou Alcindor, beats Dayton for the national championship. I don't know what's more interesting. That's back when the name was Lou Alcindor, the fact they beat Dayton for the national championship, 79-64.
Yeah, way to go.
And by the way, remember, freshmen weren't eligible back then.
I know.
Just saying.
I know.
Another guy you might have heard of, 1972, Bill Walton, led UCLA over Florida State to win the national championship. That's when dunking was illegal, sir, because of Lou Alcindor.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Isn't it the dumbest thing? And you ever see the highlights of those games where dudes are like jumping over the rim, their elbows are above the rim, and they got to drop the ball in because dunking was illegal?
Drop the ball in. Yeah.
Stupid. All right. On this day, 1982, some guy named Wayne Gretzky became the first NHL player to score 200 points in a season. That guy.
He was good. Yeah, he was good.
You know, man, because that was when we were growing up, is when Gretzky was doing all that craziness, and then Lemieux followed and all that. And I think for me, you got spoiled as a kid. You're watching this little skinny cat just dominate the sport of hockey, and you're like, and then no one else has ever done it like that. And you kind of go, well, you know, I kind of watched like an era where Gretzky was like behind the net just throwing pucks to people for goals. You know, it's just like he kind of like spoiled you for watching hockey because he was so good. He was insane.
Yeah, he was different. Because Lemieux's a big dude.
Lemieux was gigantic.
Yeah.
Gretzky was a little skinny fella.
Yeah.
Man, I think you and I weighed more than Gretzky.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Man, but he was all right.
He was so stupid good. One other, I got to get another NCAA tournament note here before we get out of here because it's coming up. 2011, Southwest Regional for the men. You ready for this? 3 double-digit seeds played in the Sweet 16. VCU, the 11 seed, who went to the Final Four, won this region. 10 seed was Florida State. 12th seed was Virginia, and the top seed was Kansas. VCU, I believe, ended up beating Kansas to go to the Final Four. 3 of the 4 teams in the Sweet 16 were double-digit seeds in 2011.
How about that? That's pretty cool.
Hope you enjoyed that.
Shaka
Not going to happen again in the near future.
VCU then, right? That was Shaka's team?
Shaka Smart's VCU. Yes, sir. And they got to the Final Four. From the first 4, by the way.
Right.
First 4 to Final Four. I think UCLA is the only other team to do that. First 4 to Final Four. Here a few years ago.
It sounds right. Yeah, because, I mean, Texas is trying. I don't think Texas is going to win 2 more games.
Me either. That mean that darling Cinderella, Texas, Jay?
Yeah,
that little school in Austin. Isn't that a teacher's college in like Austin? A little small
Something
school.
They're trying to punch above their weight.
Didn't they get a GoFundMe page set up so they could have the money to go to the tournament?
Yeah. They had to take a Greyhound to the regionals.
All right, we're going to come back. Let you hear from the man who wrote the article The Pulmonary Spoken. That's coming next here on the post-game show as we kick the 4 o'clock hour here on the game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
CHW Cabinetry. We speak of those folks all the time. Star and her gang. Customer service, second to none, with the transparency, second to none. Photorealistic renderings. You get to, right in front of your face, see your job from beginning to end. No guessing when you work with CHW Cabinetry. And you name it. They'll put cabinets anywhere. Anywhere. They also have interior products like closets and custom furniture. They do all sorts of things, not just cabinetry. So call them if you're looking for cabinets or accessories or closets, custom furniture, and just set up an appointment to come in and talk with them. They're very simple to find. 803-520-6837, right there in Two Notch. Sit down, tell them what you can do and the budget, and they will make it happen for you transparently. CHW Cabinetry.
Hendrick.
Why shop for a Chevy or GMC the way you always have when there's a better way? Shop the nation's #1 dealer group, Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC. Thousands of car buyers across Columbia have switched to Hendrick for a larger selection, better pricing, and an easier buying experience. Plus, buy now but make no payments for 3 months. You don't have to shop the old way anymore. Experience the Hendrick difference.
With approved credit, see dealer for details. At Cato's Power Equipment, we pride ourselves on the relationships we build with you and with your lawnmower. Right now, you can own a Toro Time Cutter or Titan Zero Turn with payments as low as $100 a month and 0% financing for qualified buyers. Plus plenty of great financing offers for all credit scores. Now through April, Cato's will include a free 5-year extended warranty package backed by our Master Service Repair Center, because the tools you need to maintain your turf should come with the support you deserve. Come shop at Cato's Power Equipment, family owned since 1984.
You've seen them, the Goliath out-of-state law firms invading South Carolina, talking about how big they supposedly are. But if you've been in a bad wreck, all that big talk may not help you one bit. I'm attorney Michael Jeffcoat. I was born and raised right here in South Carolina. And as your neighbor, I'm committed to maximizing your recovery after a bad wreck. So after a serious injury, call Jeffcoat at 803-200-2000 because you deserve better.
Responsible attorney Michael Jeffcoat, 1333 Main Street, Columbia.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
We are the South Carolina Forestry Commission.
We work to prevent and suppress wildfires statewide.
We help recruit forest products industries to South Carolina.
We work with landowners to help them manage their forest land.
We teach environmental education. The work we do supports the responsible and sustainable growth of the state's woodlands, the industries that use them, and the way of life their bounty supports.
South Carolina Forest. They'll grow on you.
Sponsored by the South Carolina Forestry Commission, South Carolina Broadcasters Association, and this station.
There's a new kind of welcome waiting for you at the Haven Harley-Davidson, and right now is the perfect time to ride. For a limited time, get 0 down, 2.5% APR, and up to $2,500 in customer cash on the 2025 Road Glide, Street Glide, and Street Glide Ultra. For riders navigating a bit of transition right now, know there's always a place to land. If you're looking for a place that rides with you, supports you, and knows what your Harley means to you, the Haven Harley-Davidson would be honored to be part of your journey. Discover more at 866-768-5095 or thehavenharley.com.
Home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Postgame Show. Jay and Terry hanging out with you as we run till 6. All right, coming up, later in this hour, we'll get a little Shane Beamer in from his conversation yesterday. Shane's presser for spring practice. Also, the big national story, Hubert Davis out at North Carolina, and Jay has his special candidate he's going to reveal here in just a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, we have a little Paul Mainieri conversation right now, though. Cokie Riley from NOLA.com is the one that posted the article. He got the first interview with Paul Mainieri after Paul Mainieri and South Carolina parted ways. And it's caused a little bit of a reaction from this fan base. Is that fair to say?
A little bit, yes, a little bit. And then a little bit more, and then a lot, and then a whole lot, and it's a snowball effect, sir.
All right, so we have 4 cuts here that Tyler was so gracious to pull for us. Which one would you like to go with first?
Well, you gave them to me in order of what you had, so I think the impatient one. Let's do that. Let's start there, because I think that's maybe the one that has had the most angst surrounding it from Carolina fans.
So here's Cokie Riley, his thoughts on Paul Mainieri's comments about what kind of did Coach Mainieri in here was an impatient media, impatient fan base, and impatient upper level of the administration in South Carolina.
Yeah, I think overall, I mean, it is interesting, right? The fact that he said that, I think overall it reflects a lot of how he just sort of felt about, people's attitude, toward him, the job that he was doing, as of, last weekend, basically. And I think that, he did say, I don't have a 3 or 5 year plan, I have a 1 year plan. Like, that makes sense for a guy who wanted to come in and just win right away. But, I don't think he realized when he said that all the work that he needed to do to get that program back to where he wanted it to be and where the fans wanted it to be. And
all right, so basically with Mainieri, and we've talked about that comment when he first showed up and said, look, hey, this ain't a rebuilding job. We just have to, a few things we can do and get this thing to the next level. According to Cokie, Mainieri didn't realize what he was getting himself into. Here's my thing. I don't agree with that. I think, you again, got to the regionals that year, correct, Jay?
Yep.
Just recently before that, went to the Super and played Florida for a chance to go to Omaha.
Yep.
I think most people agreed with Coach Mainieri's assessment that, this ain't a rebuild. This ain't stepping backwards. We can get this thing cooking to the next level by doing a few things, correct?
If the worst thing you do is hold serve, that I think that's forgivable, right? As you attempt to take over and put your style of play into effect here in Columbia. You didn't do that. Not only did you not do that, again, you won 6 conference games. You got swept by Clemson. You were, and I forget, Jack had the number. Or John, what? I forget. I've read so many things about it this week, Terry, so forgive me for these guys that have all covered it. They may have all put it in there, but the number of double-digit losses and run rule games was embarrassing. You didn't, again, if you could just hold serve and go as a 2 seed somewhere, people would be like, all right, well, that's cool. We'd rather host, but, we're in the tournament, which is what we're supposed to be. No, instead, you were dreadful.
Yeah, it went backwards, Jay, and nobody expected that. Look, to rewind, I remember when this hire happened. He came out of nowhere. Remember, it was a surprise. But I guess the thought process for me was, you just hired a Hall of Famer. Yeah, he'd been out of the game for 3 years. It might take a little ramp up, but it's only been 3 years. This guy's taken 2 different programs to Omaha. At worst, he'll put you in a better position to get back where you want to be than Mark Kingston could. That's how I felt. Never in my wildest imagination did I anticipate what we see now, which is basically Coach Maneri took the car. It was kind of in the middle lane, right?
Yep.
And he ran it down a cliff and hit a tree.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't just go backwards, man. You went like, blindfolded, drunk down a hill backwards. Like,
right.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the right analogy or not.
It's like the first time. Remember the first time you learned how to ride? Remember the first time when, like, your mom, dad, uncle, whoever would teach you how to ride a bike, and they're running with you holding the bike because you took the training wheels off, and then when they let it go, you started wobbling, you hit a bush, and you got scarred up by the sticker bush.
Yeah, for me, I fell over on the street, but yes, I remember that.
That's kind of what Coach Maneri did with Carolina baseball.
Yeah.
Got wobbly and hit a bush or fell in the street.
Yeah. I fell on the street. I think I was 6.
How bad you get scarred up?
I forget how old I was.
How bad you get scarred up?
It hurt.
Yeah, I went sticker bush.
It hurt.
I did sticker bush.
It hurt. Yeah.
Absolutely. But that's just where they just no one.
I still can't ride a bike. I just stopped right then. My bike still has training wheels.
We're gonna go out. We're gonna get a video. I'll hold the bike and I'll run with you as you pedal it, and then I'll let it go.
Thanks. Yeah.
I'm here for you,
Ben.
I'm here for you.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Anyway.
But that's really, I mean, that's where this is at, man, and nobody expected this out of the whole thing.
No. I think that's why I say hold serve. At worst, you hold serve.
Yeah.
And you get a good program into the playoffs as you attempt to put your ways into play, and that your ways scared the crap out of people and angered people and had guys not having fun. So,
all right, and here's another cut. Again, Cookie Riley on the extra point with Tyler and Jack, and Cookie wrote the article, interviewed Coach Maneri for the article in NOLA.com. I forgot. I think it was Tyler asked Riley what was Maneri's demeanor during the interview.
It was over the phone, so I don't think. I mean, I couldn't really tell his physical demeanor, but the way the words were coming out were not like terribly different from what I've heard from him in the past. His feelings on the whole situation. I mean, he was someone who just, was kind of eager when it came to explaining his decision making. Defending his own record. He was eager about just sort of looking back now and looking at the legacy of his career as a whole. He definitely wasn't afraid to do that. And he was someone who sounded eager to sort of move on, if I'm being honest. And that was kind of I think those were the kind of the stated goals that he had. Maybe not stated goals, but those kind of felt like the goals that he had, for this interview.
It's interesting, Jay. From what was said right there is the idea of here, almost like I'm going to defend myself for what happened because I want to, make sure that my career and legacy is looked at not by these last 80 games, which there was another flippant remark about that in the interview. But it's just it was almost, and for me, look, I guess my whole thought would be the best way to do this is say, look, it just didn't work. I tried my best. It just didn't work. And I'm sorry. I just wasn't successful. I thought I could be, and I wasn't. And, and I feel bad about it, but it was just time for me I thought it was best to separate myself from the situation and go back into retirement. All you got to do is, look, like anything in life, just man up and accept responsibility and move forward. And if Coach Maneri would have done that, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Nobody's calling Bailey, and you and I are probably talking more about Lost in Space.
Yeah. No, and I think, look, to some degree, to be fair, I do think he tried to do the man-up portion and say, I didn't hit the expectations, it didn't work. But again, I think to the point you're trying to make, which I will agree with, is the throwing throwing people under the bus, again, saying fans, media, and upper-level administrators, and I think he means the board, were unhappy or impatient. Everybody was unhappy. Impatient, look, I think that's a little... what's the word I'm looking for? That's his opinion, and that's fine.
Sure.
I don't see it as impatience. I just don't, because again, what the program is, where the program was, and where it was when you took it over. Like I told you yesterday, Terry, this wasn't Lou Holtz taking over for Brad Scott in 1999.
Right.
This was not Frank Martin taking over for Darren Horn. This was a good program. It used to be a great program. It's still a good program, and you took a good program and gave it its worst season in modern memory. That's you tell me why there should be a level of patience to do. Like I said, I'll come back to it. If the worst you did, or the best you did, depending on how you want to look at it, is hold serve from year to year, and you go on the road again in a regional, people will look at you and go, all right, well, we're trying to get this thing going again in a new direction, but not to have 6 conference wins and get swept by Clemson.
Yeah, I mean, look.
In his first year.
Yeah, I just feel like, again, just accept responsibility for it for real, and then if someone comes, and we didn't hear the phone conversation, obviously, but, all those things about, impatience, unhappiness, just like, look, I tried my best, it didn't work. That's all. I tried.
Just leave it at that.
That's my point. My point is
just leave it at that.
Say that and just move forward, because this does not stain your legacy or tarnish your record and all that. You're still a Hall of Famer. It just did not work. And it happens sometimes, right? It just does. All right, last one here real quick before we hit break. Here is Coach talking about... No, I don't want to get that one. I'll get out of that real quick. Here is Coach talking about being alone here in South Carolina.
This is Koki, right? This is Koki.
Koki, I'm sorry. Yeah. Koki talking about how Paul Maneri discussed being kind of like by himself here in South Carolina.
Yeah, I just think that he was, quite literally alone. And I think that was sort of hinting to the fact that his wife probably stayed in Baton Rouge, at least for the most part. And I wasn't able to put this into the story, but I couldn't fit this into the story. But he really only went back to Baton Rouge for, maybe 1 week, a couple weeks a year, for the time that he was at South Carolina. He has a 6-month-old. This was also in the story, but he has a 6-month-old grandson that he barely knows. There's definitely a family aspect to this, and when you're in your late 60s and you're not winning games as much as you thought you would have initially, and you're not around family as much, things can get kind of dark. And I think that's just kind of what happened to Paul, and you sort of combine that with what we were talking about earlier, and everyone's, at your throat, it seems like, and you're probably not going to have, the greatest time.
So, I mean, there you go. The family, for the most part, was in Baton Rouge. Maybe the wife popped up every now and then. He only went back, occasionally. Look, do I feel bad for him? Sure. Anybody that's lived that, Jay, in any way, shape, or form, but that's the choice that he and his family made, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're making $1.2 million, you make sacrifices to make that happen.
Yeah, and I think, and I want to get to this on the other side of the breaks. I think this also speaks to something else I want to get to, and I want to get your thought. So we're going to get to this next. And
I want to get to a few more people's responses to expectation levels, too, because, again, I got a bunch of those. So
we got to get to those,
we got a lot to get to.
All right, post-game show. Jay Phillips, Terry Ford, rolling till 6 here on The Game Network, and at The Game TV Radio on YouTube.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
If the Gamecocks hit a grand slam, you can win cash. It's the Crescent Construction Grand Slam giveaway. If the Gamecocks don't hit a grand slam, the pot goes up $25 a game. Just go to 1075thegame.com to register.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for our good friends at Integrated Media. Listen, no matter what you need when it comes to home theater, the guys at Integrated have you covered. It really is that simple. 803-948-8327. You dream it. They come out to the house. They walk around with you. They design it. They install it. Next thing you know, you have years and years and years of fine family entertainment. They say, Jay, I don't really want to do it inside. I want to go outside. I love what I have inside, but now I want to enjoy South Carolina weather while I watch a ball game or my favorite movie. Ha! You can do that too. Amazing outdoor equipment built to be out there 24/7, 365, even in the South Carolina weather, no matter the time of year. They can get that done for you, too. Plus, they're taking care of you with golf simulation at Pro Swing, which is so much fun, both the Chapin and Forest Acres locations. They're ready to make everything you do a whole lot better. And they make house calls, 803-948-8327. Do what I've done. Live better with Integrated Media.
Sponsored by KJ's Market. KJ's Market has grocery deals worth smiling about. Spring into savings this week with portion hams. Just 99 cents per pound with digital coupon. Sign up for Smile and Save rewards to unlock extra deals. Prices valid until Tuesday, March 31st, while supplies last.
If you have IRS tax problems, it can seem like a vicious cycle that never ends, year after year. Just getting the mail can be stressful and overwhelming. Don't let it ruin your life. There is a solution. Since 2008, the attorneys at Ecton Law Firm have devoted their practice to the resolution of tax problems for individuals and businesses across the Carolinas. We have the knowledge and experience and are dedicated to the success of each client. We are local attorneys with local solutions. At the free initial consultation, we'll listen to your concerns, your goals, and explain the systematic process we use in solving your tax problem. From that initial meeting, you'll see there is a solution. We're dedicated to improving your life by solving your tax problems. If we sound like someone you want to work with, take that first step. Give us a call at 803-771-9800 or go to ectonlawfirm.com. You'll be glad you did.
Plus tax tags and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand opening 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus savings up to 10 grand off new Kias and up to 5 grand over book value for your trade. Get to JT's Kia today, I-77 at Killian Road or Greystone Boulevard.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-902-5454. That's 800-902-5454. 800-902-5454.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 1075 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Talking Carolina baseball here on the Postgame Show. Specifically, obviously, the pulmonary situation with the article at NOLA.com. I want to get back to one of the cuts here from Bailey, the reporter who wrote the piece and interviewed Pulmonary Jay. Talking about being here by himself and the family wasn't here, and you made a good point. I mean, you've been hired to do this job. You've been given a lot of money to do it. You know how important this job is to this fan base in this region, right? You know.
Yeah.
But you were living by yourself. Your family wasn't here. And look, fair or not, the optics of that comes that you weren't really all in. You were here to do this job, but your heart wasn't here to do the job. And again, that might not be fair, but that's a perception, and perception becomes reality sometimes, especially when you're not successful. If Paul Maneri, if last year he got to Omaha, nobody cares if he's living in a van down by the river, right? But with Mick Foley. But it's just the idea that when you hear that and you see what happened and your thoughts about he's a Louisiana guy here anyway, he's an LSU dude who's here, some of those thoughts, and you hear that and you start to go, yeah, see, this guy really wasn't invested in this job or invested in doing what he needed to do for us. He was just here. And again, that might not be fair. It might be just a perception. But the people who feel that way hear that and go, see, told you.
Yeah. They do.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at it from that perspective, look, there's ways to mitigate those things. When you make that much money, you can certainly afford to, fly the family in from time to time. I'm not trying to be crass or flippant about that, but I understand. I get it. I get it. But if you, I don't know, Terry, to the point you make about how people might look at that and begin to perceive it, you have to know in advance that that's part of what you're signing up for, right? Hey, honey, South Carolina just offered me $1.2 million a year to go do this and come out of retirement. That's a lot of money for us. Okay, Paul, but I don't want to go live in Columbia because, we got the grandkids here in Baton Rouge. Oh, can you, and then from there, you got to figure it out. And, it's, look, I don't want to sit here and judge and go too far down a rabbit hole where I don't know all of the personal details. But if that's part of the equation, there's things you can do about that.
Sure. And you know what else too, Jay? And again, I will obviously go to you because you've been here your whole life. This is a fan base. Look, there are people who agree with it, disagree with it, whatever. And people here who live here will tell me, this is the way we are. This is just the way we are. This is a community that wants you to want to be here. Shane Beamer has embraced this community. We've seen it. One of the complaints I heard from fans face-to-face to me that Mark Kingston never felt like he embraced the community. He was just here. One of the big things with Will Muschamp, this guy just came here to take a job and take a salary and take money until he could go somewhere else. This fan base wants you to want to be here or at least be part of them or at least go out and communicate with them. And, again, you got to be able to read the room, man, right?
Yeah.
You just do.
Well, like, for instance, to the point about family, when Steve Spurrier got this job, 3 of his 4 children moved to Columbia. One played football. Scotty was on the football team for a bit and then was on the staff. But 2 of his kids moved here.
Mm-hmm.
The Spurriers made Columbia home. I'll give the Holtzes, like Skip and his family came up here with Lou, but Miss Beth, was still sick with cancer back then, Terry, and she needed to spend a lot of her time in Orlando with her oncology team. That's easily understandable. She came up here when she could, and Lou went down to see her a lot, but that's different. She was battling some pretty heavy-duty cancer back then. And look, Mark's family, they did embrace the community. They did. Mark just had kind of an aloof public demeanor. When you got to know Mark Kingston, you realize he's actually a really funny guy and a good dude. But I get it publicly. I get it. Chad and Chad's wife Jennifer was from Columbia, so that made that a whole lot easier when the Holbrooks moved here. Shane and Emily talk about how 2 of their 3 children were born here when Shane was on Steve's staff back then. So they love Columbia. They've embraced it. Frank Martin loved raising his family in Columbia, and his kids all went to school here, and they're happy with that. So, yes, you're right. I mean, and I am from here. And yeah, I think long before a lot of these guys, Carolina as a school, administrators that make these hires do want head coaches to have this, by and large, be their destination job, not a stepping stone job. I mean, look at Dawn. Dawn has made Columbia home.
Right.
I used to joke with Dawn. Dawn used to live not too far from me. And I just remember one time we were talking about some things, and she's like, still getting used to living in a small town. And I'm like, it's just kind of funny to me because I don't consider Columbia a small town. We're not Philadelphia, right? Mm-hmm. And we're certainly not Manhattan or even Atlanta. But I never considered Columbia a small town. But to someone from Philadelphia, I get it, right? Like, I get it.
Sure.
But I also, and I won't name this particular person's name, but I also know that there was a big-time assistant football coach's family who felt Columbia, and I'd never heard this in my entire life, who felt Columbia was too big.
Really?
And I thought to myself, really? Like and they didn't. So they didn't want to stay. Mm-hmm. This was a few years back, but they didn't want to stay. And again, I don't want to say who on air, but I've told you, you know who it is, Terry.
Right,
but I was like, wow, Columbia too big, really?
Right. You know.
Okay.
To a point here too. If you win a lot, these are things we don't talk about as much, right? Because if you're winning big, these are things that are kind of pushed off to the side because winning is what matters, right? But when you don't win to the level that's expected or the level that people think you should be winning, then all of a sudden these things do matter. And like with Mark, and you're right. Remember the time when Mark came out with us? He showed up at one of our live shows, sat with us. I mean, what did he say, about an hour on the air with us?
Yeah, just hung out. Yeah,
and he was, just a good guy. I mean, again, really good on the air, off the air, really good. People were walking up, Coach. He's talking to everyone that came up to him and was friendly to everyone. But the perception of Mark Kingston was aloof. And the perception of being aloof means you're not connecting with the community. Now, when you're not winning at the rate everybody wants you to win at, this now becomes a thing.
Yeah.
So just to the point of trying to make win. And when you aren't successful, but you are out in the community, you do get yourself a little leeway because you're kind of known better, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it does make a difference, and especially around here. Because in a lot of ways, and like I say, Columbia too big, I joke. But one of the things that my late mother used to say all the time, and I think she's right, I really do, Columbia is the biggest small town in the world. Because there's almost, if you find just enough time to talk to a lot of people, you're almost always going to find some connection to somebody, like the Kevin Bacon game, right? I could probably go over to somewhere in Batesburg or Swansea or somewhere and meet somebody and say, well, I know so-and-so and so-and-so, and somewhere along the way you'll find a connection. Even in a metro area of nearly 1 million people, like you can do that here. And that's always been part of the vibe. And Columbia is not unique in that respect, certainly, but that is something I think. And Carolina, the Gamecocks, do help bind this community together, and obviously have, well, I mein, dare I say, the whole time, because it's always been the home of the University of South Carolina.
And so again, just in my opinion, when you're hiring coaches, obviously winning's the number one thing, and winning is the greatest deodorant in the world, right? But also, you kind of say, look, this is a community that wants to want you and wants you to want them, and they want you to connect with them. So, again, if you're a guy that wants to shut yourself in your office and just, go through film all day, all right, but I'm just telling you now, that is going to give you, a wedge with this community. Because that's just reality, and it's not bad. It's great that everybody wants you to be part of them and them to be part of you. But some coaches, and you've seen it here, Jay, and we've had the conversations, some guys aren't like that. They just aren't. So those are the guys that got to win big, right? You got to win big. Yeah. You got to win big. All right, I want you to get to all the comments you have about this whole situation with Carolina baseball and the expectations.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of them. I want to get to a few more.
Let's reset that next. What do you say?
All right.
All right, we got that next on the Postgame Show. Jay and Terry till 6 here on the Game Network, at the Game TV Radio, and YouTube.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Go to 1075thegame.com and check out our sweet deals, like $50 worth of great eats from Grill Marks for just $25 and a 6-month membership to the YMCA for half price. It's all at 1075thegame.com.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Looking for a dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, where we've been proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle or just need expert service, you'll find it all right here. Shop online anytime at HerndonChevy.com or stop by and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile. Tartan Day. You might just learn a thing or two. We can't wait to see all of you at Tartan Day.
Break out your kilts. It's time for Tartan Day South, built by Culpeper Wood. This year's festival celebrates the Celtic influence on our nation's 250th birthday. The Celtic Concert is Friday, March 27th. All the great bands hit the stage for one musical night at the Ice House Amphitheater, downtown Lexington. And then the main event, Tartan Day South Celtic Festival, is Saturday, March 28th at the historic Columbia Speedway in Casey. Gates open at 9 a.m. to a 9-acre infield of lush green grass filled with activities and entertainment, Highland athletics, Celtic concerts, South Carolina's largest British car show, sheepdogs, birds of prey exhibitions, and food and beverage vendors for the entire family.
Tartan Day. You might just learn a thing or two. We can't wait to see all of you at Tartan Day.
Tickets on sale now at tartandaySouth.com.
Join us Saturday, March 28th at Whitewater Express Car Wash at 2006 Gervais Street for a free car wash. That's right, free. And if you can't make it to Gervais Street, you can stop by any of their 4 Columbia locations on March 28th and get a free wash. While you're there, sign up for unlimited washes and get your first month as low as $5 and grab some giveaways. See you March 28th at 2006 Gervais Street or at any of their Columbia locations. There's no wash like a Whitewater wash.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass. It's the Game Network Traffic Report.
Sponsored by Schroeder's Towing. Here we go. We got some accidents. Fort Jackson Boulevard, Divine Street, and I-77. Also, a couple more. 77 northbound, one at Percy Road, exit 15. Another at Killian Road, exit 22. Long Green Parkway, Clemson Road, South Lake Drive at Highway 602. We'll come back, get some of your thoughts on the expectations of Carolina baseball. Next on the postgame show with Jay and Terry on the game.
Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 1075 The Game app, and at the Game TV Radio on YouTube.
Expectations for Gamecock baseball. We'll get into that through the post-game show with Jay and Terry. And Jay Phillips has lots of comments we're going to get to in a second. First of all, just remind you that we've got sweet deals, 1075thegame.com. You just go to the website. You see that little right above the top of the page here, it says sweet deals. You click on it. Cool stuff like $50 worth of grill marks in the Vista in Columbia for only $25. Get a smash burger, milkshake. Also, Columbia YMCA, 50% off a 6-month membership. Again, 1075thegame.com. Click on sweet deals. All right, let's get some reaction.
I like Grill Marks, by the way. That's a fun place, man. Grill Marks is good.
Man.
Got a good beer list, too.
Yeah, do that. You dip your smash burger in that milkshake, or you dip your smash burger in your Corona. Either way. No,
I wouldn't advise that. My girls do like getting the milkshakes, though, man.
You know what's good? French fries in your milkshake.
Yeah, sure.
That rocks. So you don't think maybe dipping your burger in a nice big bowl of craft beer is a good idea?
No, not dipping it in there. I don't. Sorry. No. I enjoy drinking my craft beer just with beer.
I just want to make sure that you're still into your craft beer. I know. Again,
I have had a beer from Rogue Brewing in Oregon that is like a smoky bacon beer. It's like an IPA, but it's got like a smoked bacon thing going on, and that was pretty good. But there's not actual bacon.
Could you dip that? Could you dip your burger in that and get a little taste?
I don't think that would be good.
Aren't there certain sauces that are based with beer?
Sure, there's beer cheese, and there's some beer sauces you can. I actually know how to make a pretty good beer cheese these days, man.
Do you?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Now, if I ate a lot of that, would I not be able to drive?
No, you cook most of the alcohol out.
Okay, I'm just checking on you. I don't want to get any trouble.
Most of it.
Ossifer, I just had beer cheese.
Yeah. You cook. It cooks most of the alcohol
out.
Just checking. So anyway, earlier today, our good friend Lauren Beasley put out a tweet that said, "Do you think expectations of the Carolina fan base are too high?" And she was referring to the baseball conversation. I said, "It's a good question. I'll add to it. What are the expectations of the Carolina fan base?" And I kind of threw that out open-endedly to people. Our good friend John says, "I personally believe that Carolina should be in the regionals 7 times a decade, hosting at least 5 of them. Then at least 3 Supers a decade and 2 College World Series appearances. I know that's a high standard, but then again, this is Carolina baseball." I think that's fair. I do. And 7 out of 10, I think John might say, hey, you're being generous there to give them 3 times off in 10 years, too.
That's true.
Let's see. Gamecock Lifer says, if we made the NCAAs basically every year, occasional rare misses are expected, and trips to Omaha every few years, play for a championship of some sort every, say, 5 years to 10 years, then that would keep the job here forever. Yeah, probably so. Mike says NCAA tournament yearly, Super Regionals every other year, College World Series 2 to 3 times every 10 years. Let's see. Andrew says competing for a national seed, hosting a regional, finishing above 500 in SEC play. I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't either, Andrew. And I think that right there could really be a nice, my words here, generalized baseline. Because that's what I said. For those who didn't hear it, and I've said this many times, so those of you who've listened to me routinely through the years know how I feel, but I'll say it again. I think this program, every year going in February, should have an expectation of being in the mix to host come late May. That's where you are. Because then again, Terry, you're like I said, you're one of 16 at that point. You're not. That's not asking too much. It's not like you're one of 4,
right?
Or something like that. And again, to as Andrew says, to compete for a national seed, to be one of the top 8. Again, that should be an annual expectation. You're not always going to hit that mark. You're just not. There's a lot of good programs these days, but you need to be in that conversation. And right now, South Carolina's not. They hosted, I think, twice under Mark and twice under Chad. And that's probably not enough. But, they didn't host every year under Ray either.
Right.
I know it feels that way, but they didn't. They didn't. Let's see. Cocky Rooster says, I think we should expect Supers almost every year and a trip to Omaha once or twice every 5 years with the way college baseball has changed. See, that to me, I get it. I'm not here to say anybody's got right or wrong opinions. But, Once every 5 years, okay, that's 2 and 10. Twice every 5 years, that's 4 and 10. And that's not necessarily unreasonable, but that's also a really high bar. And that's,
it is a high bar.
That's difficult to do. But again, I get it. Again, no right or wrong here. Eddie says regularly making postseason play. Well, yeah. I mean, this program, Terry, and I know we've had David on talk about this a lot. David Cloninger, you got to be in the tournament. Even if you're a 3 seed, right? Because Carolina, again, where Carolina's level of play would never see Carolina be a 4 seed in the tournament. But a 1, 2, or 3 seed is where you would be out of the Southeastern Conference. You got to at least be a 3 seed every year. I mean that again, if you were a 3 seed every year for a 5 or 6 year stretch here, you'd be in some trouble as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Mitch says regional hosting 8 of 10 years, super regionals 5 of 10 years, Omaha 2 of 10 years. Not terribly unreasonable. Because again, I think regional hosting most years should be where Carolina would want to be. And Gamecock Rowdy says this year's expectations were to improve on what happened last year, and that wasn't happening. So there's a lot of ways to look at this, but like I say, I won't let go of my personal expectation, and how many people share it, that's up to them. But this is a program that should always feel that it is in the mix to host. You won't get it every year, but you should always feel like you have the ability to be one of 16 schools at the end of the season that is hosting a round of playoffs. You should always feel that way.
All right. In the heyday of Ray, Supers 7 out of 8 years, and to extend it a little bit more, 11 out of 14. You made Supers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, that's hard to do, man.
That's crazy,
that's hard to
brother.
do.
And then you look at how many times what Ray also got to Omaha 6, 7 times.
6 times.
Yeah, 6 times in that deal.
And played for 4 titles, Terry.
Right. So again, 11 Supers in 14 years, 6 trips to Omaha, 2 championships, and played for the championship 4 times. Yeah. That is just that, dude. I can't see that bar. Okay, that's a high bleeping bar, fella, and that's almost impossible today to replicate the way baseball has changed.
I mean, even LSU and Texas aren't doing that.
No, I mean and it goes to again why Ray is a Hall of Fame baseball coach, because that run was, and that's why the folks who were around for that and lived through that have such a high expectation for this baseball program.
It spoils you. It does. I get it. It spoils you.
It spoils the hell out of you. And that's why, your expectation level should be to be one of the best programs in America, to be a top 10 program. I totally understand that. I do. It's just, and I think for what Lauren put up and what you're talking about, what does a top 10 program look like today? Compared to what it used to was what Ray did. Well, that was arguably the best program in America. But if you want to be a top 10 program, which I think is massively reasonable, what does that look like?
Yeah.
I feel like that, and we've kind of hit that, and for the most part, a lot of these I don't think are outrageous or crazy at all. I think the expectations that you've gotten, almost every one of them, you go, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That just to me.
Yeah. So, look, this year, Monty's got a tough task to turn things around, but you got 24 conference games left. You need to win all those midweeks. I think you got 6 midweeks left, give or take. And of the 24 conference games left, Terry, in order to really feel like you've got any shot, because considering that you lost to the Citadel, to Northern Kentucky, to Army, to Charlotte, you dropped 2 or 3 to Clemson, you're probably going to have to win 15 of those 24 games in conference play.
Yep, probably.
That's a big ask.
It's a huge ask, my man.
Because you set yourself into a pretty deep hole with the non-con losses.
Yeah, absolutely. You did, and that just puts you behind the 8 ball so much.
Yeah,
We're ready for some Jay Renee?
That hurts the RPI.
Talk about Hubert Davis.
Yeah,
and we got to get to that too. We got a lot to do before Jay goes and takes a nap. It's a post-game show. Jay and Terry, we go till 6 here on the game.
Wow, what a play! The Game Network, Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
University of North Carolina fired Hubert Davis last night, ending a few days of speculation after the team's horrible first-round tournament loss. UNC has now lost in the first round in back-to-back seasons under Davis, and the need for change was obvious. Now one of the best jobs in college basketball is open, and with Kansas's Bill Self being extremely vague about his return, it could be a huge year for coaching turnover in college basketball. I'm Adam Abdallah.
Furnished by IntelliBrands.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new patented Legsercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way.
Using Legsercise made walking painless again.
Legsercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
I have much less swelling and no more tingling.
Call right now and order your very own Legsercise Pro, the new proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now.
These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Plus tax and title with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for detail. March is a race against time at JT's Jeep Ram. JT is selling every single Jeep regardless of profit or loss. Every credit application and offer accepted. JT's been challenged to sell 100 Jeeps, making deals the other dealers can't. New Jeeps up to $10,000 off. Grand Cherokees, Wranglers, Gladiators, even the all-new Jeep Cherokee with exclusive million-mile warranty. JT's Jeep Ram, 378 Lexington or Greystone Boulevard. Declaration of Deal Sales Event.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter-churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home and auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
If your lawnmower sat all winter, you're running out of time to get it ready for spring. Now for a limited time, Cato's Power Equipment is offering special spring service pricing with push-more tune-ups starting at $100 and zero-turn services starting as low as $200. Let Cato's get your equipment tuned up and ready for the mowing season ahead. Need help getting your mower to us? Pickup and delivery starts at just $50. Don't wait. Call or stop by Cato's Power Equipment today and get your mower ready before the grass takes over. Visit CatosPowerEquipment.com.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube. Let's do some Jay or Nay. It's the Postgame Show on the Game Network.
Get some Jay or Nay going here in a second, but since it's almost nap time for Jay, we want to get this Hubert Davis story first.
Yeah.
Because you got thoughts. Before we get to your candidate that you saved for air, and we saved ours, I got to read this quote. And in case someone just woke up, Hubert Davis was fired by North Carolina, the men's basketball coach. Jeff Goodman, who covers college hoops, been doing it forever and is big with the field of 68. Jeff Goodman on Twitter put out this quote against an anonymous ACC coach. Quote, I had really hoped Hubert Davis was going to be the coach forever at North Carolina. No one in the ACC was scared of him. I'm worried that they hire someone really good now because if you get a big-time guy at UNC, they could be right there with Duke. Ouch, babe.
Wow.
Ouch. 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 Ouch.
Yeah. Well, I think they're going to get a big timer. You want to give yours, or you want me to give mine?
Go ahead and do yours first.
All right, mine's simple. I really, and I think they can get him. I really do. I think you go get Dusty May from Michigan.
He was right on my list too. Yep.
I love that guy. Look, what he did at FAU is not a fluke. What he's doing at Michigan is not a fluke. I think, and reading more about him this season, especially as Michigan has ascended to a 30-win team, 32 wins, I think, right now, and a 1 seed. I picked them to win the championship in my bracket. But Terry, the man is a developer of young high school talent. He knows how to recruit both the high schools and through the portal. He is a tremendous X&O coach. He is a tremendous in-game manager, and he understands how to kind of, my words here, roll with the punches during a game and make those adjustments. He's engaging. He's the full package, and they're going to have to go out of house this time.
Yep.
There isn't a ready-made
family, Jay.
Yeah, there isn't a ready-made Chapel Hill grad anymore or anything like that, or any assistants out there. And you're not going to do any retreading.
No.
Buzz Peterson's not coming back or doing any of that. None of that. I like Dusty May, man. Yeah. I think you can get him. I think you can get him. Todd
so
Golden, Nate Oates, they're out. They got baggage, and Chapel Hill's not taking that baggage on.
No, I'll tell you this,
but May, Otzelberger, Lloyd, I think you can get all those guys. But if I had to choose, I would go get Dusty May.
It's so funny because you and I were on the phone and said we'll save it for the air, and I was Dusty May too. I'm absolutely on the Dusty May bandwagon. And look, I'm with you. Oates and Golden for different reasons. Chapel Hill's not down with that. I'll tell you the other guy. Tommy Lloyd's only gone to the Sweet 16. I think you got to get a dude who's actually been to the Final Four. I just do. Yeah. And May's been there, like you said, with FAU. I like Grant McCaslin at Texas Tech, but he's only been to the Elite Eight. I want a guy that is coached in the Final Four. Dusty May checks that box. I'm with you. I'm a Dusty May guy. If I'm North Carolina, that's my first stop is Dusty May.
Yeah, that's Billy Donovan apparently is really in the mix, but I'd go get Dusty May.
Yeah, but here's my thing with Billy Donovan. Obviously, who knows what's going to happen at the end of the year with the Bulls because they're rebuilding and retooling, and they might want to do it with another coach. If you're Billy Donovan, though, you've got your 2 championships back to back. You got a ton of money in the bank. This is a different animal in college than when you were there. And he even said when he left Florida, the biggest reason was now I can just coach basketball.
Right.
Does he want to jump into this hornet's nest of transfer portals and NIL and street agents and family hangers-on and all this mess that goes on? I don't know if Billy Donovan wants all that smoke, dude.
Yeah, I'm not sure he does either.
I don't know. But anyway, that's so funny. We both were going Dusty May. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a little Jay or Nay real quick before we get out of here. Major League Baseball starts tonight, Jay.
What?
Yeah. Of course, one of the big stories, the ABS, the Automated Strike Zone. Jay or Nay on the Automated Ball Strike Zone, sir?
Jay, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. I've been here for it since Eric Gregg in the '97 NLCS, man. That's all I'll say about that.
All right.
That's all I'll say about that.
Braves get it going Friday. Chris Sale takes the ball. Cole Reagans for the Royals. The game's in Atlanta. The Atlanta Braves make the playoffs. Jay or Nay?
Jay, I think it'll be a wild card. I think the Phillies or the Mets will probably win the division, but I think the Braves will be a wild card team because the Braves have some pitching woes right now, man, and they got to get over those.
Can't get anybody healthy, man. It's scary.
Yeah,
sort of like the drummer from Spinal Tap.
It feels that way. Yes, lots of spontaneous human combustion.
All right, Vegas and Seattle could be the expansion teams for the NBA. Looks like it will happen. Jay or Nay on those two as expansion teams?
Seattle's great. Yeah, Jay on Seattle. Vegas. I can't. Look, Vegas is a big city now with lots of permanent residents, but do the permanent residents care about these teams coming in? I don't know. I feel like the teams in Vegas, and once the A's move there, are going to just become, tourist destinations, which I guess is fine if you want to make money. But I might look elsewhere to where basketball is more popular. But I think the pro leagues look at Vegas and see, again, tourist dollars and shiny ballparks. So I'm Jay on Seattle. I'm kind of a Nay on Vegas.
But Jay, we can't have professional sports in Las Vegas. That's where all the casinos and gamblers
all the gambling,
are.
I know. I know.
Remember that? Remember that when we were younger?
Yeah, I do. I do.
What changed? Oh, money.
Yeah, lots of money. Lots of money.
Hey,
lots
man,
of money.
go take a rest. Great job, my friend.
Will do. Having fun this week. Appreciate all of you. We'll do it again tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you. All right, we'll get the 5 o'clock news from Integrated Media next here on the Postgame Show. Terry Ford, thanks for hanging out with us as we go till 6 on the Game Network at the Game TV Radio.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Sponsored by Credit Karma.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at radiodirect.com/privacy. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text FUN to 797-979 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text FUN to 797-979 for a link to your exclusive offer. Text FUN to 797-979. That's FUN to 797-979. FUN to 797-979.
These statements and products have not been evaluated or approved by the FDA for weight loss.
Plus tax tags and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand opening 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus savings up to 10 grand off new Kias and up to 5 grand over book value for your trade. Get to JT's Kia today, I-77 at Killian Road or Greystone Boulevard.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
Check the traffic. Got a few accidents. South Lake Drive near Highway 602 in Lexington. Old Barnwell Road is South Carolina 6. I-20 westbound after Monticello Road. That's exit 68. Another accident. I-20 westbound White Pond Road, exit 87. Gervais at Millwood, downtown Columbia. Broad River Road near Kennerwood. We'll get back in here 5 o'clock news. Get you caught up what happened with Carolina baseball last night. It's coming up next.
Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. checking out what's up in the world of sports.
This just in, breaking news is breaking out everywhere.
The 5 o'clock news on the Postgame Show.
If you're just joining us, I'm covering some breaking news. You know news is breaking because I'm telling you so, and I might touch my earpiece like this.
Sponsored by Integrated Media, Columbia's premier home theater and security experts for over 20 years. On the Game Network and on 107.5, the Game app.
All right, time to check the 5 o'clock news on the Postgame Show. Little blurb here. Wes Mitchell, some thoughts from spring practice as the media got to see a little practice today. And we'll get to some more of this in the Gamecock Notebook at 5:15. But Wes says he can see why the staff liked Nitro Tuggle. Obviously, with Nitro Tuggle, the wide receiver transfer from Purdue, Tuggle has had problems with drops. Had a bunch of drops last year at Purdue. If Tuggle can be, consistent and catch it when it's thrown to him, Wes was talking about he's bigger than Tuggle is bigger than Wes expected, and has suddenness. And one thing we've heard about Tuggle is the physical ability's there. He's just got to consistently catch the football. That's been a huge issue with Nitro Tuggle, and we'll get obviously some more of this as well on the Gamecock Notebook at 5:15. We'll hit some more real quick. Isaiah Augusta, the running back from Colorado that we really didn't see hardly anything of last year. According to Wes, man looks massive. A physical transition in the offseason. So that's the deal with old Isaiah. And again, the running back room's wide open. So we'll see what happens there. And we'll get a couple more notes from Wes in the Gamecock Notebook at 5:15. Carolina baseball did not go well. A 9-1 loss. Game was close till the late innings. Then South Carolina, some self-inflicted wounds, made it a 9-1 blowout. Here is Monty Lee, head coach at Carolina. Monty talking about the struggles on the night.
North Carolina's got a great pitching staff. I mean, we knew, coming into it, if you just look at their numbers, they do an outstanding job of just pounding the strike zone. They minimize the free 90. They really don't give you very much. They're a very athletic team, very good defensive ball club, incredibly disciplined at the plate. So we knew going into the game, look, we're going to have to hit them, right? And quite honestly, I'll say this: I know that we struck out, a decent amount tonight. We got some guys on base early in the ball game. If you look through the first 4 innings, we had multiple runners on base, I believe, in 3 of the first 4 innings. We just couldn't come up with that big hit. Tyler Bach hit a ball hard in the double play. Luke Uhas, we had a couple guys on base, had 2 strikes on him, and hammered a ball, to left field that got caught. We took some good swings and did some good things, but ultimately tonight, what got us, I thought we were very competitive through 6 innings of the game. It was a 3-1 ball game. And then, the free 90 just kicked us in the rear end, the 4th time through the order. If you look at the first 3 times through the order, we pitched pretty dang good. But the 4th time through the order, I think we had 5 free 90s, and then we gave up some 2-strike hits. I mean, I think 8 out of 9 at-bats the 4th time through the order were quality at-bats, and 5 of those were via the free 90. So, that's what got us. We were pretty much 20 pitches or under every inning except for, I believe, the 8th. It was like 40-something pitches, and that's what gets you in this ball game.
Yeah, things kind of got out of hand once you got to Cullen Horowitz, who struggled with 3rd of an inning pitched, a couple of earned runs, 3 walks, a wild pitch. When the walks, in case you're wondering what is Monty saying about free 90s are walks and hit batters. And Horowitz had 3 walks, led to 2 earned runs. And then once again, Riley Goodman just struggling. 3 earned runs, 3 hits, did not record an out, had a wild pitch. Just tough road for Raleigh Goodman. Again, a lot of arm talent. So much of this right now is from the neck up, in my opinion, with Raleigh Goodman, because once you start struggling like this, it just, especially pitching, just gets in your head, man. Just does. I remember there were pitchers. The last one of note, I remember Roy Halladay of the Toronto Blue Jays. Not saying Raleigh Goodman's Roy Halladay, but Roy Halladay of the Toronto Blue Jays. Halladay started to struggle so much at the major league level as a young pitcher. Toronto sent him all the way down to A-ball. Said, dude, let's just take a breath and let's just start over. Let's go from the ground up on the mechanics, basics, and let's rebuild you. And, of course, it worked, and Roy Halladay became a hell of a pitcher. I'm not saying that's Raleigh Goodman, but Raleigh Goodman, the point is, your head, man, from the neck up, pitching, it just starts to get you. Remember Rick Ankiel? Rick Ankiel, Rookie of the Year pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, got to the point he couldn't throw a strike. Ended up moving to the outfield in the DH after a while. So pitching, so much of it's mental. And Raleigh Goodman has a ton of arm talent. You just got to get him back being confident. But yeah, that it was just a rough night last night all the way around. We'll get more to that also in the Gamecock Notebook. Get some more sound from Monty Lee as well. Spin around the world, or at least around the country, I guess. Integrated Media sponsoring the 5 o'clock news. Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chief quarterback, posted a short video clip on social media showing himself in a training session. He's dropped back, throwing the ball. First public footage of him since he obviously had surgery to repair his ACL and LCL, both tore in his left knee. Mahomes just posted a little 4-second clip on Instagram showing his movement during a drop back. A little moderate tempo. Just kind of showing progress. He's got a compression sleeve on the knee. Look, Mahomes is trying to get back, obviously, for the start of the season. But, that's tough. If you can do it, great. But the feeling is that, Justin Fields will most likely start at least the beginning of the year while Mahomes is rehabbing. But Mahomes at least put a little video out on Instagram saying, hey, look at me. I can move. We were talking about this deal with the strike zone. How does ABS work? The automated strike zone. Basically, you get 2 challenges each team to start a game. And you got to do it immediately when a pitch is thrown, right? A batter, a catcher, a pitcher can challenge a ball or strike by tapping their helmet or hat. There's no congregating right away. The hitter, pitcher, or catcher has to challenge. And one thing I thought was interesting is that what they did during spring training, they got new measurements with the strike zone based on players' height, not their stance. So as they did in spring training, they measured everyone. So if you got a certain stance, you might get some pitches overturned in your favor depending on how you stand. But it is a very interesting... Look, I'm all for it. Let's get the balls and strikes right. We've seen some awful umpiring over the years. And let's get it right. I'm a big fan of getting it right. And it doesn't seem like it's going to really slow down the game a whole lot. So that is going to kick in the ABS challenge system. And I'm all for it. All right, Hubert Davis out at North Carolina. We talked about it. Hubert's winning percentage was fine. The problem with Hubert was the NCAA tournament, losing in the first round twice. Did get to the Final Four in his first year, if my memory serves me. Beating Duke, playing for the national championship, blowing a big lead to Kansas. Hubert blew a few big leads. And look, North Carolina is not measured by your regular season wins. North Carolina is measured by championships, Final Fours, deep runs in the tournament, beating Duke. All these things are what Carolina is measured on. And Hubert did get to a Final Four, but that's really been it, and then got to a Sweet 16. But has also, again, had a couple first-round ousters. And just watching it, even though Hubert did above-average job, it wasn't good enough. I know North Carolina didn't have Caleb Wilson. I know. Lottery pick, best player on the team, and you lose him. Should that be added in this mix? Yeah. But if you look at Hubert's tenure in totality, and I know it's unfair to say it, obviously it didn't compare in any way, shape, or form to Dean Smith or Roy Williams, even Bill Guthridge. And to me, you got to get a high-level coach in Chapel Hill. And North Carolina's going to do it, and enough of the family, not to be mean. And we talk about the family there. The family, really, if you want to be honest, Dean Smith went to Kansas, if my memory serves me. But he became the head coach. Things didn't go well early. He was hung in effigy, matter of fact. Then Dean started winning a ton, and then when Dean, it was time for Dean to go, Matt Doherty obviously came in after Bill Guthridge. Dean's lieutenant, so it stayed in the family. Bill Guthridge took the gig, made a couple Final Fours, if I remember. Then Matt Doherty showed up, and the program went in the crapper. Matter of fact, they don't even say the name Matt Doherty on that campus anymore. Then Roy Williams, who didn't come home the first time, and UNC hired Doherty, Dean Smith basically said to Roy Williams, look, I'm not asking, I'm telling, get your butt home. And then Roy got it going at you can even say, an even higher clip than Dean when it came to championships. So Bill Guthridge, an assistant, that's the family because he was Dean Smith's assistant. Roy Williams, obviously the same, who was, again, one of the best coaches of his generation. Hubert Davis, it felt like, okay, you sat next to Roy for almost a decade. You're going to now move into the head coaching chair. And, hey, it always works like this in North Carolina. You'll be fine. Well, Hubert, again, he was above average, but it just wasn't good enough. So now you got to go outside the family. There's nobody left in the family. Nobody. No Buzz Petersons, Jeff Lebos. Where's Matt Doherty these days? I mean, so you got to go outside the family because you have got to go get an A-lister high-level coach. That's what North Carolina deserves. North Carolina's hired a GM. They are putting more money into basketball. They understand the world now in college athletics. This obviously was one of the best jobs in America. Jay and I both agree about Dusty May at Michigan. Billy Donovan, like I said to Jay, look, Billy Donovan left college basketball because he just wanted to coach ball. Now it's even worse than when Billy was there the first time with NIL and the transfer portal and all that stuff. Unless Billy Donovan gets fired in Chicago and just, I don't know, decides he change a heart about the college game or he wants a gig. I don't see Billy Donovan. I just don't. I don't. So, Hubert Davis, again, he did a good job. And what he did there was good, would be good enough for a lot of places, just not good enough for Chapel Hill, North Carolina. 5 o'clock news sponsored by Integrated Media. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us. The American Association Heart Walk is Saturday. Go to 1075thegame.com and just sign up to walk with us. Just come out and hang with us as we walk. It's for a great cause, the American Heart Association. If you want to donate, great, but if not, you just want to walk, that's cool too. Again, go to 1075thegame.com to register. Come back, we'll hear from Monty Lee about what happened last night in a 9-1 loss to North Carolina in Charlotte. That's next here on the Postgame Show on The Game Network, at The Game TV Radio, on YouTube.
All my sports! The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This hour of in-show listening on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by QC Kinetics in West Columbia, the non-surgical regenerative orthopedic specialists of the Midlands. Request your consultation today by dialing pound 250 and use keyword QC Kinetics.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Sponsored by Taco Bell. New crispy chicken crunch wrap sliders at Taco Bell. With all white meat nuggets and your choice of creamy chipotle or jalapeno honey mustard inside. One's a snack, more's a meal. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time while supplies last.
Springtime in Columbia. And if you own a business, you too can have the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield. Just ask Mike.
I was watching TV one night and saw the Rhino Shield ad, and I thought, well, if they can do a house, they can probably do a building.
Rhino Shield's not pain, it's better.
So they came out and they gave me a price, showed me how the Rhino works, how it lasts, and how the guarantee works.
Business or residential, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
They waited for us to leave, and they worked Saturday and Sunday so they wouldn't affect our business at all. This was the great part of it. I came back Sunday night, and you couldn't even tell they were here. There was no paint on the ground. They did a fantastic job.
Here's owner Dan Hoey.
This offer is limited, so call today at 833-RHINO-99 or visit RhinoShieldCarolina.com. Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
Plus tax tags and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand opening 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus savings up to 10 grand off new Kias and up to 5 grand overbook value for your trade. Get to JT's Kia today, I-77 at Killian Road or Greystone Boulevard.
Sponsored by Woodman Life. Protecting hardworking families with life insurance.
Woodman Life reinvests in our communities through donations, volunteering, and supporting local programs. Our people and places are at the heart of everything we do. Get your life insurance quote at woodmanlife.org. Woodman Life is the brand name for Women of the World Life Insurance Society in Omaha, Nebraska. Ad number A0137.
Join the Lexington Health Foundation on Friday, May 1st at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center for the McDaniels Gala. Dress your black tie best and enjoy delicious food, open bars with signature cocktails, specialty tasting rooms, exciting auctions, fun photos, and more. Proceeds benefit the McDaniels Pucci Cancer Fund to support patients and families at Lexington Health Cancer Center from diagnosis to survivorship. Purchase your tickets today at lexhealth.com/McDaniels Gala.
Inside with Chris Van Vliet.
Hey, I'm Chris Van Vliet.
Behind the scenes conversations with the biggest names in pro wrestling and beyond.
How did you know you weren't going to kill Hornswoggle with that move?
I didn't.
That fall with suicide. I don't know how you survived.
Yeah, luck. And special live coverage of the biggest professional wrestling event of the year.
If you've ever wanted to know where the best place to watch WrestleMania is, right here. I've got a live show there, Insight Live, on the Thursday night.
Pro wrestling at its best.
Insight with Chris Van Vliet. Follow and listen on your favorite platform. See you there.
Craving the ultimate wing experience? Come visit Wing Shack in KC at 1305 Knox Abbott Drive, where Columbia's finest crispy and juicy wings await you. Enjoy bold flavors with sauces like buffalo and Thai chili. Not just wings, indulge in personal pizzas, pizza cones, fried Oreos, and more. With options for pickup, delivery, or dine-in, satisfaction is guaranteed. Now open on Reese Road in Lancaster, KC, and coming soon to Garners Ferry Road and Winsboro. Visit wings-shack.com.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 1075 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube. It's time to open the Gamecock Notebook on the Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network.
All right, first of all, let's check the schedule. Gamecock schedule in the Gamecock Notebook. Tonight, Carolina calls and Monty Lee here on the Game in Columbia and our affiliate Myrtle Beach, 7 p.m. Friday, Carolina baseball heading to Athens to take on the 7th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs, 5:45 pregame. Saturday, 1:45 pregame, Georgia, South Carolina. In those games on 107.5, the Game in Columbia, 100.3, the Game in Myrtle Beach. And then, of course, we will have Sunday's game as well against Georgia. The women playing the NCAA tournament in the Sweet 16 versus Oklahoma. You can hear it on our sister station on Saturday, B1067. That is a 4:30 pregame, 5 o'clock tip. Brad Muller on the call, Ed Bird producing the broadcast. All right, so last night, South Carolina losing losing my mind. Losing to North Carolina. 9-1 was the final. Game was close for a while until the late innings, and North Carolina blew it open. A lot of self-inflicted wounds, walks, pass balls, wild pitches. Just a rough night all the way around in the late innings for South Carolina. Game basically was 2-1 up until the 6th. North Carolina scored a single run, then that big 6-run 7th that did South Carolina in. Gamecocks offensively just wasn't there. 5 hits. Walked 3 times. Had a batter hit. Not a lot of base runners, and when they did have base runners, they couldn't cash them in. So 9-1 North Carolina wins. Monty Lee, post-game, the Carolina coach talking to the media. In this game, things started to go sideways. Cullen Horowitz came in and struggled a third of an inning, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, a wild pitch. Here is Coach Lee talking about his struggling pitcher.
I hate to say it. Bear was like 1 pitch away, and then we had the pass ball, right? I think he's 1 pitch away there with the batter. I think he had 2 strikes on him, and I think he just tried to overthrow a breaking ball. And if he makes a quality pitch right there and gets a swing and miss, the outing probably would have been a little bit different for Bear. But look, the stuff is elite. I mean, he's up to 96. He's got a good slider. We just got to get him in the strike zone more. We feel like he has the talent and the ability to be an effective arm force out of the pen. But he hasn't had a lot of opportunities yet just because he was coming off of injury. We just got to keep trying to find the right opportunities to bring him in there and let him continue to develop. And, hopefully he'll throw the ball over the plate, more consistently and wind up being a guy that can potentially help us more.
Yeah, I mean, when you haven't pitched that much, you come back from injury. And again, the midweek, in a perfect world, is where you want to put a guy. But midweek against North Carolina could be a tough road, and Cullen just struggled. But does have arm talent. Now, if you want to say, okay, in that spot, with 2 outs, you bring him in, and there's obviously struggling. Would you rather do it in a clean inning where he just starts the inning? And when things don't work, you always go, well, what if you might have done this? But you would like to get Horowitz ramped up, absolutely, with that kind of arm talent. The other pitcher with arm talent who struggled, Riley Goodman, couldn't get an out. 3 hits, 3 earned runs, a wild pitch, just again a struggle. And then North Carolina, in that 6-run inning, opened up the 9-1 lead. Here's Monty talking about, again, offensively, not a good night. Here's Coach Lee talking about the offensive struggles.
I thought, I honestly, the one thing that probably jumped out to me is North Carolina gave us a lot of different looks. You look at the starter. The starter had a really good fastball that had some carry to it. He was pitching up in the zone and throwing a lot of fastballs. And they brought in McDuffie. McDuffie's, kind of a different guy altogether. And he spins it, and he'll throw a sinker, and he'll throw, the fastball up in the zone. He can really pitch, and he's been very, very effective. So they just give you a lot of different looks, and they don't give you anything. They don't walk batters. They throw the ball over the plate. I mean, you look at their numbers statistically as a pitching staff, they have thrown the ball really, really well all year. So we knew going into the game we're going to have to earn, everything that we got. But yeah, we certainly punched out a little bit too much. I thought we were a little bit late on some fastballs. We need to do a better job when we get in advantage counts of getting to the fastball a little bit more. We fouled some fastballs off, but ultimately I think we'll get there. But the name of the game, for them was they just really, really pitched it well, and they did such a good job of having just disciplined at bats, and they took advantage of our inability, there in the 1 inning just to throw the ball over the plate. Besides that, through 6 innings, we competed pretty dang good with them. But a lot of times in baseball, the team that scores more runs in 1 inning than the other team does the whole ball game. That happens. If you look at it, it happens an awful lot. And, we just struggled, there in the 1 inning, and we didn't support our pitching staff earlier in the ball game offensively.
Yeah, look, Boston Flannery went 3 1/3 and struck out 5, gave that first inning run. And Walker McDuffie was filthy. 2 2/3, gave up a hit, 7 strikeouts. Walker McDuffie faced 9 batters and struck out 7. That's how dominant Walker McDuffie was. Huge spin rate guy. Throws a fastball high in the zone, like Coach Lee said. Just Walker McDuffie, he changed that game. When McDuffie came in to pitch the bridge area of this contest, I mean, whew. Walker McDuffie was excellent in 2 2/3. Excellent. All right, here's Amani Lee continuing to talk about last night's game. And, well, we talked about last night's game. Now let's talk about some of the staff changes that Coach Lee is making.
Well, you know, they don't make him any better than Stuart Lake, right? I mean, he's number one. He's an incredible person. He's about as good a human being as you'll ever meet. He's a great baseball guy, and he loves the University of South Carolina about as much as anybody does. So Stu and I have been friends for a long, long time. You know, he was the volunteer assistant before I was the volunteer assistant. So, and we've coached against each other for many, many years. And I just wanted a really good baseball guy, all staff to help me, you know, just because, you know, we, you know, with me, you know, bringing Gordo or moving Gordo into a full-time assistant position. You know, John's coaching third, working with the catchers. I needed another baseball guy, you know, helping me in the dugout and helping me with lineup construction and practices. You know, just all the things that we need on our side of the ball. And honestly, with Chris Gordon moving him into a full-time assistant position, you know, one of the things that a lot of people don't ever really talk about when you look at a baseball roster is half the roster is pitchers. You know, it's kind of nice to have 2 guys on your pitching staff, on the pitching staff side, coaching-wise, working with half your roster. Oftentimes, you got 4 coaches on staff, 3 of them are position player coaches, and you got 1 pitching coach, and 3 guys are working with half the roster, 1 guy's working with half the roster. So I just felt like having Gordo as a full-time assistant, and, you know, him and Terry being able to tag team the pitching staff from a development standpoint, the coaching staff point, was advantageous for our pitchers. So that was the reason that we did it.
Kind of makes sense. Have 2 guys with half the staff, 2 guys with the other half the staff. And then Stuart Lake, who, you know, has been very good with us here and jumped on the radio and done shows here. And, you know, now Stuart has moved into, obviously, a role with the team. But we appreciate it, you know, all the time Stuart's jumped on the radio here with us since he has been, you know, the analyst for Carolina baseball. So that's some of the moving parts and staff changes that Monty has made. All right, last cut. Matthew Lecroy behind the plate. Or Talmadge Lecroy. I always want to call him Matthew Lecroy. Former major leaguer, I do believe. Talmadge Lecroy had a rough night behind the plate. Here is Coach Lee talking about that rough time.
Well, that's a very broad question. I'll try to answer every bit of it. I think, you know, first of all, you know, Gavin Braylon is out right now. So we're down to 2 catchers. So, you know, and Jake Randolph, I DH tonight. So to bring Jake in a game, you're going to burn the DH, which means every time, you know, that spot comes up, you got to bring in, you got to pinch hit and bring in another pitcher. So we're limited right now in regards to what we can do behind the plate until we get Gavin back. And once we get Gavin back, you know, it can help alleviate, you know, some of that workload potentially for Talmadge. But Talmadge is, you know, we feel like our best guy, and we got to catch him. There were certainly some pitches that were tough to get a glove on. But I think also Talmadge has high expectations for himself behind the plate. And I haven't obviously had a chance to see where some of those pitches were on video, but, you know, it felt like to me, and probably to him too, that he probably should have got a glove on some of those balls, and maybe he had the opportunity to catch them. I don't know, just because I haven't had a chance to talk to him about it, and I haven't had a chance to see the video. But, you know, I know he was frustrated by it a little bit. So the main thing with Talmadge is we just got to keep him calm. Just keep him calm, cool, and collected, and just playing one pitch at a time. And something like that happens, just don't let it frustrate him behind the plate a little bit. But look, the guy is shouldering a ton of workload back there. I mean, he's catching. He's the leader of our team. He competes his rear end off in the batter's box. I mean, he fights about as hard as anybody. So I can't ask any more out of Talmadge Lecroy. I'm so proud of him.
Again, Talmadge Lecroy, I probably would tell you, you know, there's a couple of those I could have got last night behind the plate. There was wild pitches. You had some stuff last night. for Talmadge LeCroy to deal with behind the plate. But LeCroy offensively has really bounced back and has had a solid start behind the plate. I mean, caught a bit last year before he got hurt. And this year, back at the catching spot. There have been, teams have run on South Carolina. That's not all on the catcher. That's on the pitcher as well. But last night, Talmadge, it was a rough go in that 9-1 loss to North Carolina. I will pop back. We got to drive around the SEC to get to next here on the postgame show on The Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips for our good friends at Cato's Power Equipment. Ben, Matt, Andrew, the entire crew at Cato's, ready to make sure that everything that you need for your yard work is right in front of you. The latest from Steel, from Toro, from Gravely, battery-powered, gas-powered. Listen, the service department, second to none in this town. They've been in business since 1983, so they know what's up, right? It's that simple when it comes to what they do at Cato's Power Equipment. And a lot of the battery-powered things now, they won't be in the service department. They'll be working for you a whole lot longer, and they're just as powerful as so many of the things from generations past. I love my Toro equipment. Can't wait to use it when it's time for yard work because I get it done well, I get it done faster. Check them out online. See the entire inventory. As I've said for many, many years now, whether you do it for yourself or you do it for a living, you need to work with the great people at Cato's. CatosPowerEquipment.com, 4012 West Beltline Boulevard. Family owned since 1983. That's Cato's.
Plus text entitled with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for details. March is a race against time at JT's Jeep Ram. JT is selling every single Ram regardless of profit or loss. Every credit application and offer accepted. JT's been challenged to sell 150 Rams, making deals the other dealers can't. New Rams, light duty, heavy duty, up to $15,000 off with 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. JT's Jeep Ram, 378 Lexington or Greystone Boulevard. Ram Truck Month.
My family just went for something to do on a nice spring Saturday, and wow.
You want fun? You want adventure? You need to experience Tartan Day South Celtic Festival, built by Culpeper Wood. Check out the Highland Games, strongman competitions that will make you want to put on a kilt, concerts, dancing, a parade, a British car show. We've got animal shows, knights in armour, and birds of prey that kids will love. Learn about the Celtic influence on our nation's founding as we celebrate 250 years. But there's so much more. The fun starts with a rocking and rollicking Celtic concert, Friday, March 27th at the Ice House Amphitheatre, that will make you get up and dance. Then celebrate with a full day of festivities on Saturday at the historic Columbia Speedway. Kids under 12 getting free March 27th and 28th. Get your tickets now at tartandaysouth.com. We promise you're going to love it.
It's like nothing I've ever experienced before. My kids and I were blown away.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring correctional officers statewide. Officers must be at least 18 years of age and have a high school diploma or GED. If you have correctional, police, security, or military experience, you can join their team at a promotional rank as a sergeant or lieutenant. Discover a rewarding correctional career with a room for long-term career advancement and a generous employee benefits package that cares for you and your family. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today. Sponsored by SC Department of Corrections, SCBA, and this station.
Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 107.5 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 107.5 The Game app. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow, or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
Check on the traffic. Still accidents, a few spots since the last time we talked. Gervais and Millwood in downtown Columbia, Broad River Road near Kinnerly Road. Also the 2 at I-20 westbound, one right before exit 87, that's White Pond Road. The other exit 68, Monticello Road. 2 Notch at Alpine Road just popped in. Clemson Road at I-20 is also a new one. I-20 westbound Monticello Road at exit 68. We'll come back and we'll drive around the SEC. SEC coaches who could be up for the North Carolina gig. We'll get to that and some other SEC news here on the Postgame Show. Terry Ford, early game.
It's time for our drive around the SEC on the Postgame Show.
Georgia on the mountaintop. Demons be gone, and the drought is over. National champions.
On the Game Network and on 107.5, the Game app.
Your foot start itching inside your shoe. You really can't scratch it. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm like, well, what is this? There's nothing really you can do except take your shoe off and scratch your foot, and you probably want to do that on the video stream. Nobody needs to be scarred with that. Yeah, next commercial break, man. Woo! Telling you. All right, anyway, if you look at the job opening at North Carolina, Hubert Davis fired, of course, yesterday evening. There's no one in the family, and I say this all the time. I respect the whole family bit. I do. If you have the right guy in the family to hire. Don't just hire somebody because they're in the family. SEC folks on this list: Todd Golden at Florida, Nate Oates, Alabama. They've been talked about early. I don't think North Carolina goes with either one. Both have some baggage in different ways, shape, or form. And Chapel Hill just they don't get into that. I mean, both these guys are obviously high-level coaches, and they play styles that are fun to watch. But the Todd Golden's issue, and if you don't know what that was, and feel free to take a look up at that. We won't really go back over that here on the air. And Nate Oates' issues with some stuff off the court at Alabama. I just don't think North Carolina wants that smoke. Those are two SEC names I see in the mix early, and we have a long way to go still when it comes to the whole process of North Carolina. Former SEC coach Billy Donovan, his name has come up. And the feeling is that North Carolina will make a real run at Donovan. Obviously won back-to-back Final Four, back-to-back national championships at Florida. I believe 3 Final Fours total, I think. 2 additional Final Fours, not one. I just saw it in front of me. So 4 Final Fours for Billy Donovan, 2 back-to-back championships, 06 and 07. The Bulls' last game is April 12th. What's going to happen after that? I don't know. The timetable and timeline makes it complicated. So you've got to be pretty bleeping sure you want Billy Donovan, or you're going to get Billy Donovan if you're going to wait. But Billy Donovan has said before, he left college because he just wanted to coach ball. I don't know if he's got to change your heart or not. I don't think it's going to be Billy Donovan. I obviously don't think it's going to be Brad Stevens. Everybody chases Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens likes being the president of the Celtics. So those are 2 SEC guys. Alabama's Nate Oates. Florida's Todd Golden, also a former SEC coach, and Billy Donovan has been on this list. All right, a little bit of SEC in the news. Lane Kiffin, talking to the media after spring practice, quote, about LSU, things don't happen overnight. We're making some first steps. There's still a ton of work to do to get the program back to where everybody around here wants it to be. Smart thing to say. Keep the expectations chilled for now. But there again, there's a lot of turnover at LSU, sure, but there's also a lot of talent at LSU. Drive around the SEC, another story. Ole Miss on Monday announced the upcoming launch of its new Center on Collegiate Gambling, which researchers describe as the first of its kind in the nation amid rising national concerns about betting on collegiate sports. I think the props are a huge problem to me. Because the props, you pick some player to over-under, pick his nose during a game. And if that player doesn't hit the prop, then all of a sudden they're getting bugged and bothered by every yahoo that dropped a bet on his phone. But, look, gambling is not going away. Legalized gambling, it's not. There's too much money to be made in legalized gambling for it to go back to being what it used to be. So you got to deal with things. You got to deal with young people with a little bit of money who all of a sudden get into the gambling thing. I mean, my kid's roommate at college is into it. Not like crazy, but he does his share. Yeah, maybe my kid's doing it too. We just don't know it. Break into his bank account and phone. Anyway, so that's what Ole Miss is doing about gambling. Oklahoma, Owen Heineke is suing the NCAA for another year of eligibility. Heineke has been preparing for the NFL draft since his waiver request and appeal were denied by the NCAA. So now Owen's doing what everyone does, sue the NCAA. I believe Owen played tight end this past year, I thought. But, look, it's what you do. You keep going and keep suing and, keep going to court. Look at Trinidad Chambliss at Ole Miss. He was granted a preliminary injunction by the state because, let's see, Ole Miss is in the state of Mississippi. So it makes sense. You stay with your state and you go and sue or try to get injunctions or whatever through your state, and you take that route to get your guy eligible. Chandler Morris at Virginia is suing the NCAA, trying to get his 7th year of eligibility. So we'll see where all that goes, but it's just a thing. It truly is. There's no doubt. All right, there's your drive around the SEC. Post-game show, Terry Ford, appreciate you being here with us. Our Spring Golf Classic at Charwood is sold out. We're done. We've got 29 teams roughly. Appreciate you if you jumped in. It's going to be a good time. Golf Guns back. We'll have the famous onion sausage from the Lexington Gamecock Club. We'll have lunch. Also, sake with the Morning Libations Bar. All that at Charwood. It's going to be a good time. April 3rd, we'll be there broadcasting live from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. So it'll be fun. And if you got in, we appreciate you hanging out with us. All right, we will wrap this baby up. Maybe a little Jay versus the Internet. Also hit some stories we have not had a chance to jump on yet. It is the post-game show. Terry Ford, thanks for hanging out with us as we roll this for one more segment. Then it's the best of the game. 7 o'clock, Carolina Calls with baseball coach Monty Lee. It's all coming up next here on The Game Network, and at The Game TV Radio on YouTube.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence. Gamecock fans, get ready for something new this season. Charleston now has a new station for Carolina sports talk. Dial in to 96.9 The Game on HD3. Head to 96.9 FM and on an HD radio, punch into HD Channel 3. You'll unleash live Carolina coverage you can listen to all day long. New on HD3. It's 96.9 The Game HD3. South Carolina's newest sports station.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Baseball's opening day is here, at least for two teams, as the Yankees and Giants face off tonight. And with the start of a new season comes a new automated ball strike challenge system that will change the way the game is played and the way you watch the game at home. This is not full-on robot umpires, and it will be a lot faster than any other challenge system. But just like any other change, it will take some getting used to from fans and players. I'm Adam Abdallah.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
DQ presents the Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve. Plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy tastes good. Participation.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Sponsored by Armstrong Pharmaceuticals.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Sponsored by Armstrong Pharmaceuticals.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 1075 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube. And now, Jay versus the Internet. It's the Postgame Show on the Game Network.
All right, we'll get to a little Jay versus the Internet here in a minute. We'll get to the NBA tonight. But first, Major League Baseball season starts this evening. And the opening game, the Yankees and the Giants on Netflix. From Oracle Park in San Francisco. Logan Webb, Max Fried, the starting pitchers. And the Giants, they got a new manager, Tony Vitello. Yeah, is that Tony Vitello? Leaving Tennessee and going to San Francisco. This has never happened before. Never as a college head coach in baseball taking a Major League Baseball managing gig. Just never happened. Straight from college to the majors, what I'm saying. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I mean, Vitello obviously did a heck of a job at Tennessee, but obviously being the head baseball coach in the SEC for a college team, no matter how successful you were, obviously a massively different animal than managing a bunch of grown men who make a lot more money than you. And that's really, look, baseball's baseball. There's some little tweaks different from coaching college to managing in the majors. But the bottom line thing, I say this all the time about baseball. Managing the game is secondary to managing the players. You all are stuck together for 6 months of the majors, spring training, and if you're lucky, part of the postseason. It's a lot of spending time with the same crew. You got a bunch of different egos, a ton of different stuff going on. How do you manage the clubhouse? That's what's important. Tony Vitello is just going to have to adjust from managing college kids to managing grown men. If Vitello can do that, he might have a shot to be successful. If he can't, it's going to be a gigantic flop. And I don't know when we'll see another college coach go straight to the majors as a manager. But that's, to me, the biggest thing with Vitello is you gotta treat these dudes like grown men, man. Because they are. They got families. Driving SUVs. They probably got like more money in their wallet than you make in a year. These are guys you now have to deal with on a daily basis. So we'll see. But Tony Vitello, his path starts tonight as the Giants host the Yankees. And the Giants are kind of, like my daughter would say, mid. They've been like that for a little bit now. since they won those World Series earlier in the new millennium. We'll see how it goes. You know, there's some head-scratching moves that have been made there the last so many years, and we'll find out. But Tony Vitello makes his debut tonight against the Yankees. Hey, now it's time. We need the music here. Now we're going. Little Jay versus the Internet. All right, the Lakers are 8.5-point favorites in Indy. The Pacers stink. They're 10-25 at home. They're basically tanking. Lakers have been playing really good lately. They're 23-14 away from home. I think the Lakers covered this number easy. Easy. A tankathon in Utah. This is interesting. The Jazz host the Wizards, two teams who are dying to lose because they want to improve their draft pick, draft status, draft order. What am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. I'm losing my mind. They were part of the tankathon. Well, they are. For the whole season they've been. The Jazz have bench guys. The Wizards have had guys get quote-unquote wink-wink injuries. And now that's over because we know the lottery order. But these are two franchises that have been trying to win. Wizards 16 victories, Jazz 21 victories. They both did everything they could to get the best draft lottery position possible. The Jazz are 4.5-point favorites, which I think is kind of funny in a game neither team wants to win. Jazz at home, why not? Listen to this. The Wizards are 5-29 away. The Jazz are 13-24 away. How sad is that? Just sad. You know, and speaking of the draft lottery, which is not over yet. What am I saying? We see that happen in the postseason. Right now, Indiana, Washington, Brooklyn, Sacramento, Utah are sitting at the top 5 in the the low 5 in win percentage. Indiana's a tick better than Washington, then Brooklyn, then Sacramento, Utah, and obviously there's ping pong balls and all that mess. And it's a great draft. It really is. It's one of the best drafts depth-wise in a long time. And so both Utah and Washington are trying to get themselves in position for the lottery, which, when does it get drawn? When does it get drawn? For 2026, Sunday, May 10th. That event determines the top 4 picks in the 2026 draft. It'll be held in Chicago. That's according to what I'm seeing right in front of me. So it's May 10th. To see who gets the number 1 pick. Who will it be? Will it be Peterson, DeBonsta? I don't know. I would take the guy from BYU if it were me. But anyway, back. Picking some games. My bad, I got on a little rabbit hole there. Because again, all of a sudden I was confusing myself. I'm like, wait a minute, this thing hasn't been done yet. What the hell am I talking about? All right, the Warriors and the Nets tonight. Golden State's been ravaged by injuries. They are 12.5-point favorites because the Nets are trying to tank as well. I think the Nets cover the 12, but the Warriors win. And the Warriors, a decaying dynasty. It's kind of sad, but it happens, right? Steph Curry's not healthy. Draymond Green's not who he used to be. You tried to go out and get players. Jimmy Butler tore up his knee. Porzingis plays it almost when he feels like it. It's just, it's a decaying dynasty. Thunder and Celtics in Boston. Here we go. OKC 2.5-point favorites in Boston. Celtics are like 8-2 since Jason Tatum came back, or 6-2 or something like that. I think the Celtics win at home, and the Thunder don't cover. How good are the San Antonio Spurs? Wow, I didn't see this coming this quick. Spurs 16.5-point favorites over the Grizzlies. John Morant out for the year, by the way. Now, I think San Antonio wins and covers a 16.5 in Memphis. And again, Grizzlies are kind of sort of tanking in a way, maybe. And finally, Mavericks and Nuggets. Mavericks are awful. Nuggets are playing better, sitting, about fourth or tied for fourth in the West. Denver, 11.5-point favorites over Dallas. In Denver, I think the Nuggets win and cover. Very simple. All right, there you go. We did the draft lottery because I confused myself. We also went over some of the games. Like I always say, whatever I pick, go the opposite way and buy your own island. Very simple. All right, again, Carolina calls coming up with Monty Lee here at 7 o'clock. Friday, Carolina baseball at Georgia, 5:45 pregame. Saturday, we got baseball at 1:45 here on 107.5 The Game in Columbia. Our sister station, B1067, will carry the women's Sweet 16 game against Oklahoma, 4:30 pregame, 5 o'clock tip. Thanks a lot for putting up with us. We're done. Finish history down the road. We'll do it again tomorrow. Post-game show here on The Game Network, and at The Game TV Radio on YouTube.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Sponsored by Odoo.com. All your business apps in one place. Your business deserves tools to make you feel in control, not overwhelmed. With Odoo's all-in-one, easy-to-use platform, everything is together so you can focus on what matters. Start at Odoo.com today. That's ODOO.com.
Plus, tax tags and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand openings, 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus, savings up to $10,000 off new Kias and up to $5,000 over book value for your trade.